notice I do not have a typed up story recap on the screen, but we'll just do it live. Um, so most recently in Eridon, you all had recently touched down after flying via Caneloth Windsail to Olandris from For's Hollow. Your intent being scope out the city in the next 2 days before the estate dinner held by Contessa May and Count Lee, seemingly the sort of leaders or authority in Olandris. Durastian occupied Olandris. You landed there, were sought out by a Wyvern Knight who you were able to hide from. Then you slowly made your way toward the city gates and deceived your way in, though with not needing to pay some coin, as not Thane Gaspard and any attendants, but rather the Blue Feathers 2, a sort of offshoot in Creatia of Durastian's Blue Feathers group. Made your way through the gate. You acquired some lodging at the Broken Bottle, and this town seemed deserted. You know it's not. There are people holed up in all of their housing, and some people visible going about their day-to-day jobs, but the Durastian occupation of this city has certainly sort of dissuaded the general populace from wanting to be out and about and mingling with their fellow citizens and such. Some of you, I think Telperion, looked at a little leaflet pamphlet and gained some information there.
Yeah.
Roulette and Jiri went through, walking through the city to just kind of scope out the general vicinity, take a look at the keep that you guys would be attending at, and then meeting up with Moby and his mom at their house, discussing briefly, and with Moby suggesting he should come back later and maybe tap on his window and he might be able to talk to you guys a little bit more. Toby Rama had some intentions for, I think, this night for scrying and information gathering intel wise. And most recently, I think Rome had transformed into a grasshopper mouse and was discussing with the voles and mice burrowed in the walls of this establishment you guys are lodging at. And they told you of the predator who lurks in the basement of this place, a ferret who they dare not tread upon his territory. They have great fear of this individual, and perhaps he might know more about the city's environment, or maybe you even could get a glimpse at his hoard. So I know that was also a point of curiosity.
He has a hoard.
Yes, he does.
I'm thinking of all the gold coins that might be in there.
Yep. And I believe I'm trying to confirm the date. I believe it is essentially closing in on nighttime. It's late in the evening on Sundas, the 29th of Evening Star. So the estate dinner is not even tomorrow, but the following day. So you guys have some time to continue scouting, gathering information, considering an official way into the keep for the dinner, or gathering intel about the general city's structure, layout, supply supply stock holds, maybe defenses of the city, whatever might be useful to the United Kin Army's intel gathering effort. But now we will pick up back inside the Broken Bottle, where Rome has been discussing with the various critters of this establishment. Are you interested in trying to slink your way into the basement?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. As a grasshopper
you're
mouse,
coming with me, correct?
I think it was mentioned that he was interested in coming, though that could certainly change the approach. So
I did definitely remember Telperion just being super fascinated by this whole phenomenon. So he's just like going as like chaperone. He's just kind of on. He doesn't need to direct, but he's really curious how this is going down.
Perfect. And as a reminder here,
And only chaperone because
going-
you can't. I can talk for you if you need
That's true.
with telepathy.
I'm also circling over here in the right where the broken bottle is in red. Oh, I did that on the wrong
I
layer.
didn't even think about that. Like, is a grasshopper mouse going to be able to communicate with a ferret?
I mean, I don't know.
I guess we're going to find out.
As both speak rodent.
To keep things simple, I think I'm considering rodent speak to be a language.
Love it.
Okay.
Yes.
So
ferrets are
Telperion and Rome, how are you making your way into the basement? The owner, Jude, has mentioned that he might be willing to let Roulette use the basement tomorrow for some goal she wanted to work on, but is not necessarily aware of you guys' interest in using the basement now. So what are you guys doing?
Well, I'm on the shoulder of Telperion.
Okay, perfect.
So Telperion just walks downstairs. What's the guy's name?
Jude.
Jude. I heard that there's like a ferret or something in the walls of the basement. I was just gonna go, like, interact with it for a minute, maybe catch it.
That sounds great. Go for it.
Catch in a bit.
No
Just
check
go.
required. Could not care less.
Think of
Fabulous.
good one.
He shows you where the stairs to the basement are, right behind the bar stead tabletop countertop. So you're able to slip behind him and make your way down very old stone steps.
It's this like regal elf in like the finest armor. I'm gonna go look at this ferret with a little mouse on my shoulder.
Yes. Well, you step downstairs into the basement, and there's an immediate mustiness to the air. Clearly, not much upkeep is done to this basement. It is purely for function. The doorways and width of the corridor staircase leading down there just large enough to fit a cask of ale or two by general people shuffling those downstairs for storage. But you get down there, and there's a couple wooden shelves throughout the space, but it's about a 10 by 10 room, not very large at all.
All right, Rome, I'm going to sit on the stairs here and try not to creak too much and let you do your thing.
Okay, I'm going to scurry about and use my sense of smell to sniff out the predator.
Okay, go ahead and make a survival check.
Yes.
This is what D&D's all about.
Damn right.
Oh! Hell yes.
There it
Holy
goes.
shit.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
You
First roll.
skitter up and you fall. You see a trail of droppings along the right side of the wall crevice, and then you walk up, skitter up to the hole where there's clearly a hole in the wall, and you just see standing upright on its two legs like a meerkat, hands behind its back, a ferret. You come into my domain unannounced, uninvited. What do you have to offer me? Lest I crunch you to bones and eat your meat.
Mr. Predator, that would be unnecessary. I've heard tales of your greatness from those who fear you, and I wanted to see you with my very own two eyes.
He arches his back a little bit and leans up closer toward you, and you see like bristles and fur start to go off his, and he just looks like this mangy, ruddy tan colored, very probably abused throughout the years ferret who just kind of gets really close to your face and says, "You better have a reason for being here."
Of course I have a reason to be here. I want to employ your skill in my master plan. And I think you're just the ferret to do it.
No, I think I will subject you to my services. Unless you want to be eaten, I suggest you go ruffle about this broken bottle and find me any gold and buttons you can.
Gold, he said?
Yes, coins, copper, silver, gold. Buttons are preferred.
Buttons like the buttons from a shirt?
Indeed.
I
Return
want-
to me with a button of my satisfaction, and perhaps I will be willing to entertain a question or two.
Give me one moment, Mr. Ferret Predator. I'll be right back. I scurry to tell Perion, and I don't even ask. I just like kind of like crawl up his shirt and chew off one of his buttons and just run away with it.
He wasn't gonna give it to you, so that was a good thing.
Amazing.
He's gonna say this is your quest.
And it's got to be like some pearl button or something like that. It's got to be
Oh
a
yeah,
nice.
I'm sure that the simple elven clothes Telperian's wearing under his armor, I'm sure, are still well above the average make of sort of
Alright.
peasant clothing. So you return to the
Mhm.
predator.
Yeah, with the button in my mouth, and I present it to him as I bow, and I say, "Great Predator, here is your button that you requested. It's the best one I could find in such short notice."
Snatches it from your paw and says, "You work quickly. A fine aid you might be." Starts gnawing on the button a little bit. It is good. And he tosses it behind his shoulder, and you hear it just clink amongst a skittering of other objects behind
The
him.
horde.
You see, Mr. Ferret Predator, if you help me, you'll have access to as much gold and buttons as you could ever dream of.
How is it that you have access to such that you can promise me this?
Mr. Ferret Predator, I don't think that you believe or know who you are talking to. You see, I'm in a mouse form right now, but I am a great goddess of nature, and I can present you with pretty much anything that you wish.
Go ahead and make a animal handling check.
Does that button get her advantage?
It allows the check.
Oh.
You don't seem like any great goddess. But if you are taking the form of one of us, maybe. Listen, I'll let you in on some info of my favored stash in the city. The other mice kin don't really know about it.
This is so much.
Behind the Dewdrop Brewery, there's lots of shinies. There always seem to be more that sort of collect there, but they're below the river. They're drawn there, filtered down from somewhere. If you can avoid drowning, there can be lots to gather there. That's all I can offer you, but there could be other odds and ends and things that could be of interest to you, should you find them worthy.
I see. So you're offering me information about more shinies to find? Because if I
Indeed.
find those shinies, would be willing to give them to you, as many as I can find, if you're willing to help me with my master plan. You see, the humans, the humanoids of this land, they look down upon the rodents and weasels, the small critters, but I know that they serve a very vital purpose, and I know that you can serve a very vital purpose in this city if you're willing to help me.
What did you have in mind?
And
let's see if you can afford me.
You see, I think that you have the ability to whip up all of the tiny critters of this town to help my crew with their plan. You see, I have access to poisons, and I have very knowledge of very many poisons that grow directly out of the ground. And if you can work to create a rodent intelligence network to perhaps distribute this poison to very specific high-profile persons in this city, I would be very willing to compensate you with as many shinies as you want. You see, your position right now is feared amongst all of the rodents and tiny critters of your own kind, but you can become a king. King amongst them.
You do me, he raises his chest a little proudly. You do me justice in acknowledging my power and rank amongst the rodent kin of this city. And you're right. I am well poised for such a position and role. Perhaps opportunity has fallen into my lap. How might we distribute said poison?
Hmm. You see, I have the ability to create very deadly poisons. There is a particular type of mushroom that must grow near here. I will go out and collect it, synthesize it, make it really small and super potent. And you will take the rodent intelligence network and distribute this poison during a very important estate dinner. We will also be poised to strike at this time as well, but by weakening our enemies with this particular poison and your very small size, that would greatly help us in our mission.
The estate dinner. I have heard rumors of such a thing throughout the city in recent days. I believe it is in 2 days' time. Doesn't give me much time to work, but I'll see what I can do.
Hmm. Do you think that maybe perhaps if you give me the time to create this poison, we can come back down here and meet? It'll give you time to swing up all of the rodent kin that you can, weasels, anything that's small, and we can distribute from there. So we'll meet here in a day's time. Do you think that we can make that work?
Excited for what I know else.
I will see how fast I can gather the others and
Hmm.
form them
And
into some sense of structured organization.
Hmm.
Though they don't have the ambition and brains that we do.
Hmm. And what do you think would motivate them? Because I can get anything. You see, I am in this form right now, but I can take any form necessary.
Perhaps I will lay rumors that I command a great snake, and it has a far larger appetite than even I.
What's that
If you could return in the form of a snake with your promised poisons, that should do wonders for whipping them into shape out of fear. One must rule with an iron fist through fear, that is.
Hmm. Are you sure, Mr. Weasel Predator, that ruling with fear is the correct method? Because
Of course, it is the only way to get results.
if this is the only way to get results, you must know better than I. I will come back in the form of a snake with as much poison necessary. In 1 day's time, we'll meet at the exact same time as today, but tomorrow.
Very well. Now, scram, goddess. I have work to do.
And he turns his back and he just like starts tinkering with a couple coins that you see behind him. His hoard is like a pile of like 6 coins and many buttons.
Excellent. I scurry off to Telperion and I think to him, Rush, we have much to do.
I never would have imagined Toby's spell list would be impacted by the words of a ferret, yet I think it's already happening. I know Toby. All right. I walk us back upstairs. Jude.
Where's the ferret? I thought you were gonna kill it.
Oh, we said interact with. In this case, it was just a discussion and a promise of. It got away. Well, I'll kill it. I'll try killing it later.
I think
Whatever.
we're coming back tomorrow, Telperion. Tell him we're coming back tomorrow to kill it.
I think I'll just tell him day of Rome because fewer words said to this man, the better.
Mm.
Very well. Roulette and Jiri are probably starting to return-ish from their scouting throughout the city. I do want to get to Toby since we didn't tackle what he was up to last time.
I
I
want to
know
say
you also had some things in mind to do later in the evening, / before bed. So, did you have specific things on your mind, Toby, that you'd be interested in doing before people return, or were you waiting for people to return?
I think Telperion reading the newsletter got me what I was looking for is the Talon's status, and so we expect him to arrive the day of, which is kind of what I was planning on scrying, so I'll hold off on that. But if when Rome and Telperion return, and if they give the update, I can try and look for the mushrooms Rome needs tonight, so we can go get them in the morning.
As we walk in the room, you hear Telperion say aloud, "So tell me more about the Rodent Intelligence Network."
The RIN.
Yeah.
Oh my
Holy
god.
shit.
Holy fuck. That's unreal. Incredible.
All right, so I'm gonna detrip. I'm sorry, I got distracted looking at like taxidermy. Yeah, we need to find toxic mushrooms. We need to find as many as we can. And I fill everybody in to like what my plan is, because essentially, like, we can get like this rodent intelligence network up and running. Like, we're golden,
We just need more cheese.
and we have plenty access to cheese. We have lots of shinies to pay the predator.
They like shinies, huh?
Yeah, the shinies.
All right,
How much
well, let
we
me see
talking?
what I've
What
got.
sort of a hoard was he hoarding?
He had like 6 buttons and a couple coins. But
Oh.
we'll make him rich at the end of this. He'll be totally twisted around our fingers.
Well, if we need toxic mushrooms, I can start looking for that, and potentially, if I don't find any from this location, we can kind of do a circuit tomorrow morning where I can.
Oh wait, listen to this. Listen to this. I've got one giant spider venom sac. That's not as potent as I have also a scorpion's tail. What I have that's really of interest is milk of the mantis. I have this nectar, which can be refined into a potent paralytic poison.
Ooh.
And the big one, Kellenbor's kiss, which is the problem is to distill this into its most potent form, I need more time. But it would be easy to make this into a general poison. Probably also have just general poison on me. So I don't know if we want to disperse this too widely. I think if this went to maybe 2 or 3 individuals, it would have like key individuals. It might have the best effect, as opposed to if we dilute too much. What I have in my pockets is probably best for solo people, not large groups. And I'm also just curious how much we trust these ferrets and rodents, because these are valuable poisons.
Which is kind of why I feel like just finding mushrooms, making
Mushrooms, yeah.
general poison is what we use them for. Maybe we can try and sneak the more potent stuff ourselves.
I think the Kellenbor's kiss, let's save, because I think the milk of the mantis, if we could try to get this in the cup of the key objective target, and then the rest poison mushrooms.
Yeah, because I mean, if we can just like mass distribute these poison mushrooms in the food that they're eating, and they just like kind of get like, I don't know, like some stuff, like some pretty bad stomach aches. Maybe a couple of them die of dehydration. They get really dehydrated. Some vomiting. I think
I
that
think that
kind of
really
weaken them to the point where we can then like slip them the more potent
tips the
poison.
scales in our favor.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking for Destroying Angel. They're a white-capped, or a totally white mushroom. So perhaps we can go out now, so that we have time to construct this poison while we're sleeping, if it needs to, boil down to a more potent form.
What was the name of it again?
It's called a Destroying Angel.
Destroying
Death
Angel.
Cap.
I
Yes.
will cast.
That's the most badass mushroom name I've ever fucking heard.
Awesome.
Destroying Angel.
I will cast Locate Object to try and find Destroying Angels.
That
So,
sounds like a Breaking Benjamin album title.
Do you have a picture of the item on your Pura pad that you can use as a
To put
dowsing
on the
machine?
sensor.
Yes, you absolutely can cast Locate Object. What's the radius on that? It's probably pretty big.
1,000 feet of view. So I don't know
Yeah.
how much of the city that would cover, but
Yeah, so go ahead and make a survival check also.
I want to help you if we actually leave.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and make a survival check first, just to give me a basis understanding. You cast Locate Object. You cast Locate Object from your current space in the broken bottle, and you don't feel the sensational blip of things triggering on your radar. But then with a small even with a 14, so the mushroom just doesn't grow in this urban of a space. Maybe I'd have to find other areas in the city to look.
yeah. So maybe we just do a loop around the city while I have this going tomorrow morning or tonight if we want to, but
That you can certainly do. Before we get to the rest of the collection of any Destroying Angels that are available in the city, Jiri and Roulette have been out moving about through city, interacting with Moby's family briefly. Are you guys doing anything on your return, or are you just hoping to get back to the Broken Bottle this evening?
I had no other plans. I don't know if Jerry wanted to circle back for.
Yeah, Roulette, how long do you think we should wait until we go and rescue Moby?
I mean, I don't think we're rescuing him. He's at home with his mother right now. I think we can check in with him if you want, but I don't want to be taking that kid out for whatever thing we've got planned.
We're gonna need him though, and his connections to the city.
He's a teenager, Jerry. I don't know that he has many connections at all.
He's our way in. I know it.
We can, I'd say, well, we have to go. What time is it right now?
Is Tim punking us into doing
probably, It's probably getting very dark. I would say because it's the winter time and sunset's earlier than usual, the sun is probably is below the horizon. So there's a beautiful sunset off in the distance, but off to the west. But it is slowly getting towards nighttime.
Roulette remembers Telperion reading aloud something about a curfew. Are we close to that curfew? Are we at that curfew?
I would say you recall that the mention was no later than half an hour before sunset. So you do think you're already maybe a little bit outside of curfew.
Jerry, let's get back. We can tomorrow. I'll help you. We can keep an eye out for like maybe his mom will step out or something. We can go visit and talk with him. But I don't want to get caught by some guards or anything. Just tonight, the first night we're here.
Well, hear me out, Roulette. I think we should go get him. Because then his mom's gonna freak out. And then his mom's gonna... I already told her my name. She's gonna tell the guards that Jajiri's here. And then they're gonna come looking for me. And that'll keep them busy.
Okay. I will...
There are no guard patrols immediately in sight, but you do suspect should some become visible and see you guys, they might come up and, want to interact with you.
Okay.
I mean, well, do you think that his mom would squeal on us? Because, I already told her my name, right? So, I don't know if that was the smartest thing we could have done, but, I
think if we go and poke the Moby Bear even more, I think there's even a higher likelihood that she does. But come here, and I will use my other 3rd level spell slot to cast invisibility at 3rd level on myself and Jiri, and I'm grasping Jiri's hand and holding on to it.
Okay, understood.
Jiri,
you guys become
invisible. Let's go back and just eavesdrop on them a little bit. Don't poke anything, but let's at least go eavesdrop and see. I don't know. Make sure she's not making any outreach to the guards. The gist I got from her is that she hates the Durastian guards as much as we do, but she doesn't want to talk to them. So I think we're safe as far as her ratting us out.
Okay, let's go spy on them. I like it.
And we'll go back to the Casa de Moby and Joan.
Okay, perfect. You do get there, and you're able to find the window to Moby's room, and you see Moby's just in his bed, head face down in a pillow, and you can tell he's angrily grumbling something to himself.
He's grounded.
Jiri, do you want to go look and see if you can see in any of the windows and find Joan? I'll keep an eye on Moby here.
Okay. Sounds good.
And so Jiri will sneak around and see if he can find a different window to peek into.
No check necessary. You're able to make it around to the other side of the house, and in their very simple kitchen, Joan is just washing some pots and pans off with a simple rag and sort of angrily setting them over to the side on the counter, being, "I've half a mind to, that boy is always," just sort of mumbling to herself in anger at Moby.
Molly Weasley style.
All right, I'll go back to Roulette and be like, I think the coast is clear. I don't know. We can either take Moby, could be really useful, or I don't know.
Jerry, if we take Moby right now, the mother's gonna report us to the authorities. As much as she hates Durestian guards, and I will step away from the window so like we're not like angrily whispering
Sure.
right next to Moby's window. If we take Moby right now, she's gonna report us to the guards as much as she hates Durestian guards. She's a mother to this child and she doesn't want to lose him again. I don't think we need to take Moby. I think what we could do is wait till tomorrow, see if she maybe steps out, have a conversation with Moby. Maybe he does know the streets a little better than we do, and see if we can get any information from him. Potentially some help.
I feel like there's got to be some way to use this to our advantage. We'll have to think about it.
I'm picturing Moby walking down the street holding both of your invisible hands, just like this child after curfew alone in the streets.
Absolute horror movie.
Let's leave him a note at least.
Okay, that's a good idea. Let's leave him a note. What do we want to leave him a note on? Say.
Like, Moby, the coast isn't clear. We'll come back for you later. Hang in there.
No, don't say come back for you. We'll say the Four Winds need your help. We'll be back tomorrow.
No, don't put Four Winds. What if somebody finds us?
Oh, that's true. We should.
The Junior Juries.
And well, don't even say Jerry. We'll just say we'll be back tomorrow. Signed, Jay.
Yeah. All right.
JJ.
You read it. I'll deliver it.
Okay, we'll leave the note. And just I'll leave the note. Say like, we need your help. Be in contact tomorrow. -J.
Perfect.
And then
Do you leave that on his windowsill, or okay?
We'll stuff it through the crack on his windowsill, and then knock, and then run away.
Yes.
Okay.
little ding and dash, ring and run.
Perfect. As you guys run away and maybe slow your pace just a few steps away when you're out of earshot, you hear the window open up and the crinkle of paper, and you hear him say, "Oh, I'll clear the coast." And then you guys are welcome to keep going.
Bobby kills his mom.
I'll clear.
And we go back to the broken bottle.
Perfect. At this time, I'll say you guys invisibly are able to easily slink into the front of that establishment, make your way up back to the rest of the gang, and the five of you are able to reconvene in your one small, cramped room.
Everyone else have a productive day. Uneventful.
Yes. Rome's got a rat intelligence network plan.
That is correct.
Rats. How can you trust a rat, though, Rome?
Well, it's a menagerie of different rodents and weasels found in the particular area. We're gonna use fear to whip them into shape, and also rewards. They're simple creatures. And
How
they
big
can
are
go
rats
for us.
in your guys' in the material plane here?
Average size.
Oh. Okay, that's not scary at all.
Also, Steven, as a PC, Rome, when you said, or Alex, when you said we're gonna use fear, I registered that as a capital F. And I thought it was a spell that you were casting, and I was like, oh fuck.
I also thought of it capitalized, but more in the sense of an official formal tactic that will be used.
I'll share from Roulette. We located the barracks, the munitions, and the brewery. And we don't have a map of this place, but I'll roughly sketch it out. The 3 red X's. If I remember correctly, the brewery is the southernmost one, and there's
Correct.
What is the down arrow? I forget what that was.
There's a sluice gate that slows the pace of the water slipping through the stream there before it falls, and it's just a way to control both the irrigation in this area as well as for the brewery's use. They have a big, large wheel that helps them generate some power.
I will share that information for us. Yeah.
We also found Moby.
Moby?
We're gonna rescue him later. We accidentally let slip our true identities, so Roulette and I might be compromised.
We're gonna hop out and hop back in.
Zoom.
I mean, Steve said we're gonna hop out and hop back in, and Michael Jacoby said Zoom.
I was thinking
It's
Zoom
literally the
reset
word-
and it was done.
Literally
It
the
ended
word
automatically.
Zoom
That wasn't even
got
Mike doing it.
Perfectly cut screams.
All right.
Yes, that's my favorite Twitter account.
What I understand perfectly Rome's plan to employ the rats of the city to disperse poisons. But what I don't understand is what are you two are kind of scoping things out? Is there something you want to put in motion with Moby?
Yes, he probably knows all about the city, so we can use his connections. But I'm also thinking we need a general kind of like mayhem mission as well. Like I kind of want to just cause problems for everybody in the city.
Okay, hang on.
Well,
Before we can come up with problems, we need to understand how things are operating. So I know Toby's going to be doing general magic research right now. What we need to know is like who goes into the keep, who comes out of the keep, how many guards, when do they rotate? Like we need general like who, where, and what before we think of where we should make distraction or use mayhem or do whatever. So I
What
think we
will
should get some
they
mayhem
do
first.
if they find a dead guard, like in the town square, just lying there,
We gotta find a guard first. So
and then kill one, and then put him in the middle of the square?
I'll kill every guard here, you know that. But we gotta figure out where we should kill the guards.
well, I think. Well, I don't know. They've got important people coming to town. I think the guard's going to be up regardless, pun intended.
Terrible.
But I wonder if it's best to just keep the guys of the townspeople. Jerry, we saw it walking around. These townspeople seem just subdued, or I don't know if it's frightened or subdued or just some sort of complacent at this point. Like the townsfolk don't seem like they're too uppity right now, and I think it might make sense to keep that front up. Like have these Drastians think that oh, don't worry, it's just a bunch of idiot creation townspeople who aren't going to do anything.
Maybe we can combine ideas. Maybe we can talk to Moby and his mom. Maybe there are people that don't like the Durastians. They can help us, and they can help distribute the poison.
Well, I think let's just talk to Moby, because as much as I don't want to involve a child in whatever the hell we're doing, he's a rambunctious little teen. I'm sure he's gotten out and about and caused havoc somewhere in this town. So he, as much as I loathe to agree, he's probably knows a way or two of causing, I don't know, trouble, or at least knows something about this town. I think what we should do kind of tonight and tomorrow is take stock of whatever inventory you have on you, each of us, of things that might be helpful if we go into this estate dinner. Because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think our plan is still Operation Thane from the Dead.
Yeah, but I really want to do like one thing of mayhem. Come on.
Oh
just, like,
no, of course.
just a little mayhem
Do you want to do it before, during, or after that estate dinner?
tonight.
For what purpose?
I don't know, for fun.
Why don't we all just watch Toby scry? That'll be so fun. Think of all the juicy information we'll be able to discuss amongst ourselves over a glass of wine. Think about it, Jerry. It could be fun.
Actually, I do have one thing we could potentially do, Jerry. I can't make both of us invisible anymore. Can anyone else do invisibility right now?
I can turn myself into a cloud.
I can do utter darkness.
I could become invisible.
Jerry, when you say turn into a cloud, you're just basically imperceptible kind of thing?
Yeah, ooh, I'll turn into a cloud. I float around the city killing people. Evil people.
No murdering, no murdering. Let's do
No murdering.
how about
Can I spy at least?
can you what?
Spy.
All of you to spy. That's exactly what I want.
Jiri, how about this? We pull a prank. A big wet prank.
A big bet.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
I
Stop doing that.
Roulette's mind goes into engineering mode and destructive engineering mode, and out of character, she will start talking about the sluice gate, and she will start explaining the purpose of a sluice gate and how it slows the water, and how you can pull it up, you can pull it down based on weather conditions, and you let more water in, and how I think if I get close enough to it, I might be able to figure out how to quick release it to let all of the water out at once.
I would say actually go ahead and make an intelligence roll real quick.
Oh, this sounds like the best idea ever.
I'll cast some
'Cause
guidance when I see Roulette going real
Okay,
designy mode.
very fair.
I'll throw a additional thing to make it a 22. 23.
Okay,
That is
23.
better than Bardic Inspiration. That is insane.
It is really good. I would say 2 immediate options come to your mind, Roulette. The way the sluice gate is positioned, stabilizes the flow of the water. You could either, with some effort in engineering, figure out a quick release or a quick block, accomplishing different goals. A quick release would allow more flow through, but most of the flow that travels, I'll say this direction in the city and then past the brewery, allowing more flow would probably deal damage to farmlands southeast of here, or if you're able to cleverly redirect it, could affect this area of town. Alternatively, if you're able to fully block the gate and there's a rainfall where there's not an ability to let some out, it would probably flood this portion of town.
Okay, I thought the river was flowing this way, so
Yeah.
that's why I said quick release. In my mind, as she's talking, she would have changed that to do a quick block, because to appeal to Jiri's prankster mind, like, we want to flood the rich people is essentially what I think we'd want to do.
The wet bandits have never operated on this scale before.
Yeah.
Man, we gotta.
Yeah,
Okay.
so just wanted to clarify, those are like potentially viable, feasible options that could be achieved.
Jiri, how about we flood those fancy gardens of theirs?
Yes.
Okay, you can turn into a cloud.
Yes, but I can't rain. Oh wait, no, I can rain. But I have to be not a cloud.
Oh, no. Let's keep us invisible. I guess you help me keep guard, keep an eye out as I'm doing my work.
Well, I can help make a flood.
We're not supposed to be out after curfew is the whole thing.
I could help make a flood tomorrow.
Jiri, you want to do this tonight real quick? See what I can do?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
Can I ask you a question?
sure.
Jiri, are you going to stay in cloud form?
Yes.
Maybe.
If you're invisible in cloud form, I want you to blow through the keep. Go examine it.
Yeah, I'll go down the chimney. Okay,
Cool.
that's a good idea. I'll start now, and then Roulette, I'll meet you at the gate.
The sluice gate.
Yes.
Okay,
He'll put a
perfect.
tickle on your cheek.
Perfect. I will go invisible, and I will slink out the broken bottle and start heading towards the brewery and the sluice gate.
Okay.
And Jiri will turn into a cloud. Well, actually, I'll try to get as close to the, because I'm really slow as a cloud. So I'll try to like sneak down the street a little bit and then get as close as I can to the keep and then turn into a cloud.
Okay. We'll pause that scene there and get to those antics in a moment. I want to check in with Telperion, Rome, and Toby before we get to you guys' antics. What are you three wanting to do this night?
Well, some people we wanted to go out for a mushroom hunt, correct?
What's after curfew? I was just gonna watch Toby TV and see what he picks up.
That's a good idea. Who do we want to look in on? Because we know the Talon's gonna get here the day of. I could try and just look inside the keep at specifically the Count or the Contessa. And...
Yeah. I want to know what they're doing. I want to, yeah.
Oh God, it's nighttime.
And here's what I think. I think we should hear what they're saying, not watch what they're doing in some room.
Well, I was gonna go full power to start and watch and listen.
Here's my fear though: is what if one of them are magical? Just I don't know. Fuck it. Wow.
I think it's worth finding out if they're high enough rank to be given those kind of protections. So I will start by casting Scrying on the... Should I do the Count or the Contessa first?
The Count. He was less scary than her.
I will scry on Count Lee, I believe it was.
I think you mean less hot.
Question.
Both.
I'm trying to think. I know for a fact you guys have, due to Telperian's mind invasiveness and then potential minor illusions if he has that availability, have you guys know what Contessa May looks like and you know what Talon Coda looks like? I don't know if you guys have ever seen Count Lee.
No, I guess not. And if that was relevant, we wouldn't.
That is relevant, and
we'll do the Contessa then.
So you just might not be familiar enough to even attempt to target that individual with this spell.
Well, unless secondhand is just have heard of the target.
Oh, okay. Then that's totally fair.
So
okay.
It's just a bigger minus or plus or something to the roll.
Both of them would have a +5 to their save, but having a likeness of the Contessa would bring it down to a +3 instead of a +5. Because having a likeness gets a -2. It is a Wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Which I almost think that she might have a better Wisdom save than he would.
Okay, that.
I bet Toby feels more comfortable doing.
That's not in play. That's not in play. Okay, I do think secondhand knowledge is, I think, the reigning sort of connection here.
Yeah.
If you're going to target Lee, is that still your intent?
Yes. I will cast Scrying and try to look in on Count Lee with a +5 to his Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. I will click his Wisdom save. Add +5.
Not good enough.
13 total is not good enough. So your vision, describe for me one more time how you're scrying, how your vision is pulled into your scrying focus.
It's kind of just, I go really, my peripherals really tunnel in on the font of water that is lighter than the other scale, but they come into equal balance as this fills with magical scrying.
Okay. I'm going to be able to throw him up on the screen here. Your vision begins to clarify, and you are in a dimly lit chamber room of sorts with a large canopy bed set in the middle of it, and you see this individual.
Oh no,
equal in sort of regality, formality, and like just elaborate dress as his partner, Contessa May. You see Count Lee. Similarly to her, a hood sort of covering most of his face, very pale skin, long blonde hair that droops down to about his mid-chest, and he is engaged in conversation with Contessa May currently, mostly discussing frustrations throughout their day. Although the claw has been of abnormal use to us, more so than we suspected, the others are focusing on the bureaucracy at every turn. It is frustrating. I don't know how she does it. Contessa May responds with general conversational dialogue, but an agreement that the way of running a city is very frustrating to these two individuals. And you gain sort of, well, I'll give you an insight check, actually, as part of this.
I'll definitely take that.
24 is pretty good to determine very quickly that these two are not accustomed to having authority. You do get the sense of pleasure they take from being in control and having people under them, but they're not used to sort of just the mundane ongoings of what it takes to run a city. They are somewhat disgruntled, although you do get this like sort of sadistic pleasure from their, but I did wield my power in this way over this individual in the city yesterday. That was delightful. So you get this sense of play within their reluctance. And you're able to scope out what appears to be their general bedroom, which you imagine is within the keep somewhere.
Right.
Very lavish furnishings throughout the space. Very fine wooden bedposts, beautiful elaborate tapestry of a canopy hanging over the bed, fine furniture, jewelry, etc.
Okay. I will, while I'm looking, be speaking and relaying info to Telperion.
What? Do they look like they'd have good loot on them?
My God.
They both seem very regal. They are frustrated by having to be in charge in the sort of running the show sort of way.
Can you read papers?
Can I read any papers? Are there any visible papers out on any desks in the room?
Go ahead and make a perception check. There are some loose papers on a desk, and you get some information for free just based on passive perception, but peering out at them, some of the papers are a little too far away to read the literal text on from your vantage point. What I will say is nowhere in this room does there appear to be a single weapon of any kind, nor do you actually see anything that seems to be apparently a sort of focus for magical means.
They don't strike me as the weapon-wielding type. They mention using their power on people, and that's kind of the joy they get out of being in charge. So I'd guess magical, but I didn't see any stabs or wands or pouches and stuff, so nothing to see there. I'm going to listen throughout the rest of my duration of 10 minutes, and then I could specifically try and get an eye on some of those papers I saw, by being more precise.
Can you move the scrying? I'm
No.
going to say it's probably too far to even attempt an investigation check if that's what you're going, unless you find an alternate means to get closer to something like that.
So if the 10 minutes play out and they continue just kind of talking generally and nothing totally strikes me, I will finish scrying and then cast Clairvoyance and specifically place the sensor right on top of documents. And if I imagine they're kind of spread out, so I'll start with one and see where that gets me.
Okay. You are able to let the scrying conclude. You cast Clairvoyance. I think it's a mile range, right? You're allowed to place it in a spot like this because you have familiarity with it, or
a place I have visited or seen before.
Okay, that's fair game. You set an invisible scrying sensor of Clairvoyance above those papers. Do you read Infernal?
No. Would I be able to guess or piece together that it might be Infernal? Because I would say Oh, I don't know what this is.
There were hints of infernal text and script when you guys visited far below Mount Alethir, when you battled against a Cambion and some devilish creatures. There were indications of devilish infernal script throughout there. So you are able to, for free, you've seen the script before, so you recognize it as infernal. You just are unable to read.
All of their stuff is written in infernal. Interesting. Oh. Okay. I'm getting close to being spent for the day.
I think you've done plenty.
So we could think of other things to try and look in on, or we could potentially try and stealth out and look for mushrooms.
Okay.
Oh, I was thinking that perhaps I could just grow us a poison plant like the castor bean, and we could synthesize the ricin in that castor bean to make a very potent poison. I could grow this plant into the floorboards right now.
I can gather and distill for you.
Excellent. Is everyone okay with me growing a poison plant in our room? We can destroy it.
And I think I think this will work fairly nicely. I will cast Enhance Ability. I only have 4th level slots, so I'll give all of us advantage on Wisdom. So I think that's medicine based and her spell casting based. What would you prefer, MJ, if you're putting...
I need intelligence for nature.
Intelligence for nature. Yeah, I'll give us advantage on intelligence.
Rome, are you intending to do this with the spell plant growth?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, this is outside of the normal capabilities of that spell. However, I do want to be willing to make that spell feel fun to use and valuable for probably an underutilized spell. However, since this is definitely outside the bounds of it, I do want to make this a check. I'd like to have this be, and it's not going to be a wisdom-based check. It's going to be more intelligence-based to know if you know how to perfectly replicate a rapid growth of this. So I want to have you make a nature check.
Can I roll a history or nature check to see if I even know this poison, and that could be helping her with like the discussion?
Sure. Go ahead and yes, you roll a nature check as well. That could affect the DC of what she tries.
Nat 20, baby.
Wow. Okay. I would say you help course correct her. A castor bean plant that produces ricin is it's a very potent poison, obviously, to harvest and utilize ricin, but it's extremely delicate to produce. You suggest an alternate poisonous plant that might be easier for her to grow and still suit your needs on a rapid pace.
Rome, you have advantage on that.
You do get advantage on this check.
For enhanced ability.
I mean, if we're unfamiliar with that, we could also grow some hemlock or nightshade.
Yeah, whatever Telperian's guiding you toward, that could be either hemlock or nightshade. He's guiding you toward a specific solution. With advantage, a 14. Just use some transparency here. A 14 will just barely fail, unless there's any means you guys can utilize to bump that.
You have your little bardic inspiration die.
Me?
Yeah. We all rolled that number. Otherwise, I can't really buff it.
I mean, I can also just use my inspiration to re-roll that. I might just re-roll my inspiration. If I re-roll with inspiration, do I get advantage again?
No, it will replace. You can choose whether to use this new roll or the result of this previous roll. So far, the result is 14. So inspiration, you'll roll it and you can choose to use either the 14 or this new inspiration roll.
Do you have your inspiration, the
bardic one?
The bardic one still? Did
I
you use
think
that?
I may have already used it, yeah.
Oh.
Because I deleted it from my document. but I have inspiration, so can I just use regular inspiration to reroll?
You are welcome to use that as long as that's a choice you want to make.
Yeah, that's a choice I do want to make.
Okay. Go ahead and roll one more d20.
No.
So the result will conclude with a 14. A small hemlock plant is able to grow from small weeds beneath the floorboards, and they crack the wood a little bit and start to grow. But it looks like the plant is only half grown. It is not able to produce any poisonous fruit at this time.
We can try outside tomorrow.
Yeah, we can try outside tomorrow. Sure.
Yeah, Toby, Telperion, Rome. We'll get back to Jiri and Roulette's antics for the night. What is your primary goal at first? I know Roulette's invisible, Jiri's a cloud. What are each of you intending to do?
I am beelining it to the brewery, to the sluice gate, and I am closing it. I don't even know which way. I'm putting it up.
You may have to do some inspecting. A common peasant can't just walk up to it and manipulate such a crucial part of the city's infrastructure. So give me an investigation check to see how one might begin to manipulate such a thing.
Dirty 20.
20 is good. You suspect, based on the way some of the large steel diameter pistons that are attached that run into the side of the sluice gate, they run into portion of the building. You suspect the building controls, or the sluice gate controls, would be operated through the brewery somewhere inside.
How? I have. I've got thieves' tools. I've got proficiency with thieves' tools. Is there a garage door?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
15.
That's the DC of what I wanted. You are able to climb up the embankment that the brewery is on, and near where those pistons enter the sort of stone foundation of the building with sort of gaskets around them that seal any cracks, you are able to find a small hinged wooden locked flap that likely leads to some sort of crawl space beneath the brewery. That perception check made you aware of something that can be interacted with thieves' tools. So you're welcome to try and pick the lock if you would like.
I will check the door for any brewery traps.
You are welcome to make an investigation check.
Brewery traps.
23.
Does not appear to be any traps, just a very heavy steel padlock locking this flap. Go for it. Basically sleight of hand, but it's
because
proficiency.
Yeah, I got profish.
Yep.
14.
14 will not do it.
18. 18.
Okay.
Gonna make it an 18.
You feel the last
Button,
tumbler
press,
about
press.
to click away from you, and in an arcane flash of genius, you twist right at the right moment and catch the tumbler before it looses, and it does click and swing open. So the padlock has been undone, and you're welcome to enter that cubby hole if you would like.
I'm in.
Okay. You have to duck. It is a very small space, but still occupiable by a humanoid that may need to see to this space. It is damp. It smells disgusting down here, like a crawl space would. There are spiders and creepy crawlers just in the crevices of this place and cobwebs. There is a wooden floorboard above you that you could try and get up. You seem to be under the room that likely has controls.
Just very briefly listening. Do I hear anyone upstairs?
Perception check.
Perception check.
You don't hear anything, and it's very likely people might have gone to bed. It is pretty late in the night at this point.
I will start creaking open the whatever floorboard or floor hatch is above me.
Go ahead and make a stealth check. You do not have advantage on this.
Correct. 11.
Okay. Just gonna roll a very innocent d20 here. Okay. You lift up one of the floorboards. Kind of takes a little bit of prying because it is nailed down, but it's old, rusted nails, and it does sort of grind a little bit on the other wooden panels as you slide it over. And you listen, and no one seems to be approaching, but you do hear the muffled voice of someone on the other side in a different room. Perhaps someone's closing up shop and is still here. But you have not been loud enough to gather their notice.
Okay, I will move it slightly back into place. Having heard them, we will cut to Jiri. Have
Okay,
Jiri do this step really quick. And I'm waiting for them to leave.
Perfect. Jiri, you have entered your cloud form. You're making your way over toward the keep.
Yep.
Okay.
And do I see any chimneys?
Make a perception check.
Uh-oh.
There are no specific chimneys to speak of, but you do find one very small, like a 2-inch diameter steel pipe that is jutting out of the top of the roof. You're not sure of its function or what that would be in a building, but that is a functional open-ended pipe that a gaseous form could enter.
Let's go down it. See what happens.
Okay. Let's do this. Oh, this is going to be tricky.
I think.
Give me just a moment. This will actually work really well. Oh, this is going to be funny. Okay. I'm going to put you here. I will move you to the screen in just a moment. All right. Jiri, only you get access to the screen in just a moment. I also want to put on a little bit different vibe music. Your gaseous form enters this pipe, and you slowly but surely make your way down it. It's entirely full of just air. There's no other substance in this pipe that would occlude your movement. Until you get far enough down, you're not sure how far down you just went, but it took a while. And you do see now you come to where a vertical pipe meets a horizontal pipe.
Yes.
You come to a T, like a choice of which way to go, and there is a very thin line of water at the bottom half of the horizontal pipe, and it's just like loosely, like such a thin line of water that's just loosely trickling down in one direction from a slightly elevated direction. Which way do you go?
Let's go down.
You go further down. You're able to go further down, and there is another pipe that meets the top of the horizontal path you're taking. And then you go a little bit further, and you hear a sound. A turbulent spray of water begins to gush into this pipe and occludes your way forward as its flow moves further down this, what you imagine quickly is a waste pipe. And these vertical sections that lead to the roof are vent pipes that allow free flow. You are directly below some sort of waste room. Are you interested in going upward, or are you interested in continuing further?
Let's go back and let's go up the pipe this time.
Okay. You go up the pipe, and there is a dead end that tees to a single pipe elbow that leads to one final vertical rise.
Let's go up.
Okay. You go up, and luckily this water closet, toilet has not been used in a while, and therefore its P-trap is evaporated, and you have the freedom to move through this P-trap shaped tube, and you arrive here. If it will let me do that.
Very shitty adventure.
It doesn't appear to have worked in the way I thought it would. Oh, here we go. That's because I did it wrong. Trying to move just you to a separate map. Your gaseous cloud form arrives in a very small waste room where a Durastian soldier in guard uniform is currently sitting on a chamber pot 2 stalls away, open, like just wooden bench with holes cut in them, and you hear him grunting as he's relieving himself with some waste. But your virtually invisible cloud vaporous form are able to exist in this space.
He seems distracted, so I'm gonna go this way and try to like squeeze under the door over here. Let's give this guy some privacy.
You do find a suitable crack, and I am purposely not showing the rest of this map to you guys because this is intel Jiri himself is gathering. You are able to move. Let's have you go ahead and move yourself into this square that I just made open real quick.
Yep.
And from that, you will get pretty much this area. To the right leads another door, and to the left leads a set of staircases further down, further up, and you see a Durastian knight walking, doing his patrol shift, and you see 2 Durastian soldiers just engaged in simple conversation over some dried bread and cheeses. Seem to be maybe off duty in this particular moment.
All right, this way and then up, and I'm gonna squeeze under that door too.
Okay. You are able to make it into this room, and yet more Durastian soldiers appear to be in here. A soldier and a knight, as well as a hallway that goes further off in that direction. You see the knight is just, I don't want to hear any more of your grumblings. This is the shift you are ordered to take duty on. There's not much I can do about it. Listen to rank or take it up with the Count and Contessa. I'm sure they won't be as patient as I. Fine, whatever. And this soldier individual just continues off in this direction.
I'm gonna wait until this guy is distracted with his work or something like that, and I'm gonna
will sit down in his chair and begin just like rifling through papers.
I'm gonna slide right past and head this way.
Okay. I'll go ahead and reveal this whole section to you then. Small bits of small braziers adorn the sides of this sort of staggered, tiered, descending staircase that leads to a dead end forward, but an available door to the left. As you're able to make it closer to that door seems to be more reinforced than the previous makeshift simple wooden doors. This one is a little more airtight and has a distinct, like, crooked symbol on its front that you also recognize to be infernal script. You cannot read it, but you recognize that it is in fact infernal language.
Can I sit here and try to memorize it?
Sure. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Come on, Jerry.
You got it. It's 2 lines. It's 2 lines. How difficult can that be? You have it.
All right. Feeling satisfied with my intel that I have to bring back to everybody, I'm gonna float all the way back to the toilet. Is this guy still here?
You will see as you're approaching, he will actually be opening the door. Wipes his brow and continues walking this way.
And I will go to the one that I came up from.
Sounds good. And the Zoom is about to end, so let's jump back into the new Zoom link.
No, I think we're good because we got kicked.
Less than 1 minute.
Oh.
Yeah, it did kick us moments later.
That would have been a neat loophole.
Yeah, that is interesting. If you guys can refresh the duration on your own.
We just tried that.
We just thought that happened because we got kicked first.
That's interesting. But perfect, Jerry. You are able to make your way back through that pipe, back up through the roof. I will also offer you a general perception check as you leave.
Okay. Jerry. Dang.
Okay. It's a quiet night. Beautiful. Wyverns in the sky. Torches out on the various towers. Nothing necessarily of note.
All right. I will head to meet up with Roulette.
Okay. You're able to head toward the sluice gate where she had mentioned she would be. She does not seem to be within visible range at this moment. But Roulette, you are in the control room. You see a large series, like almost taking up an entire wall of levers, crank wheels, and some elevation like bobs where small glass canisters have little different elevated amounts of pressurized water in them that could mean various things. What are you interested in doing?
Realizing now that I'm invisible, remembering I'm invisible, and Jiri's also invisible, in the little crawl space door, I'm going to magically tinker a tiny little rock that's nearby into Crayola colored Jiri blue, and just rest it right outside the door, just so that only people looking for things will see it. And then I have the people left the building yet?
Yes, after about 30 minutes or so, it took you a while. So your invisibility, it probably took you 15 minutes to get here and then some time to get inside. So with another 30 minutes of waiting, your invisibility might be threatened to be running out soon. Maybe
good to know.
You've probably got some minutes left, but it's getting close.
And these people coast is clear, it seems?
Seemingly, perhaps it was the owner or at least someone closing out for the night, but they have seemingly left the building.
I will shift the board aside, quickly pop up, and start going into Jimmy Neutron mode and seeing if I could figure out what's the easiest way to lift the sluice as much as possible to stop the water flow.
Okay. You are able to, go ahead and make an investigation check. Which I'm sure will be above a 20, as always. Oh, above a 30. These simple-minded folk, they don't have the training necessary to come up with a more complex device. This is rather simple, and you very quickly understand what cranks functionally handle the sluice gate's elevation, as well as what gears and levers might need to be adjusted to adapt to certain variables. So you are able to identify what you need to do. Do you close functionally fully raised to its maximum height the sluice gate?
I'm gonna wait until like 15-20 minutes have passed since the guy left, knowing that my invisibility will lapse. I will also then just drop and recast with my final second level spell slot another invisibility on myself. I'll wait 15-20 minutes to make sure like people are definitely gone, and then I will do the thing.
Julie, do the thing.
Julie, do the thing.
You do the thing, and although it takes you quite a bit of physical effort and over the course of like 5 minutes to crank this thing, you do slightly raise the gate probably a couple feet in elevation to its maximum height. And no more water seems to be flowing over its portioned off little, basically like turret U-shaped sections.
Gotcha.
So it is full height, no flow is moving across the sluice gate.
Down through the... Ooh. Nope, I'm not stealing from the people. Down through the floorboards, replacing the floorboard. I'm going to pick up the blue rock, and I'm just gonna like start doing this, so it's like a blue rock waving in the air. Just like, Jiri! Seeing if I can get Jiri's attention, if he's there.
I will also say, as you're starting to try and meet up with Jiri, especially just because your investigation is so high, your sort of passive intelligence is really high. What you did was very easy to do, and therefore could probably easily be undone. Just a variable to consider.
Yeah, but I did it after hours, and it's not gonna. That's my whole thing. Is they're not gonna find it right away. It's a prank. I don't want it to do actual damage. I don't care. I'm leaving it. I appreciate that, but I'm leaving it. If I had another second level spell slot, I would dump 25 gold into making it a movable object, but it's fine. But that only lasts an hour anyway. I'm gonna try and find Jiri, and I'm just gonna carry the stone for like 150 feet while I'm still out of sight, and then I will drop the stone and just like I'm starting to head back to the broken bottle.
You see Jiri with his 6 perception is a gas is just like moving around this space and can't find this blue rock until you start waving it around, and then you see barely visible this cloud of vapor approach you. You guys are able to meet up, and if you would like, head back to the broken bottle.
I'll whisper, stage whisper, Jiri, let's get back, and just beeline it back to broken bottle.
Okay. Since you are in invisibility and gaseous form, no stealth will be required on the way back. You kind of have that covered.
Sounds good.
Okay. You make it back to the broken bottle. Rome, Jiri, and Telperion, anything specific you guys wanted to do in the meantime or before you all call it a night?
Yeah, I'm gonna message my sister through the book.
Okay. This is the only time you've done that today so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because we got here and I haven't done it since.
Okay.
Just wanted to let you know we've made it into the city. Talon gets here soon. Might try to kill him. Or just get intel. Check with the top tier. And hopefully that's under 25 words.
Kill him, in italics, you say? Do you know much about this Talon? Information on how to defeat an opponent is the first thing you likely would need to do before such an endeavor is attempted. I will let Mother know.
Whenever thinks if we're going to fight the Talon, we should investigate how to fight him first.
I got one more scry to do. Should I just look in on him anyway?
Do it.
Which Telperion got a likeness of, so I believe he should get a +5 to his save for second hand, and then a -2 from having a likeness.
Sounds good. Let me double check. Definitely second hand at least. Haven't met. Not familiar. Likeness -2. Yes, so a net +3 on top of his roll. You cast Scrying?
I cast Scrying.
Wisdom save. I'm going to roll this, and it's whatever this is, +3.
Yep.
That's a 24.
Yeesh. So what happens on a fail? Let me double check.
Yeah, I don't know if they know you tried.
They must make a sense. If they know you're casting, they can save. On a successful save.
Isn't affected, and you cannot.
Scry
Now,
for
he is
24
immune
hours.
from your scry for 24 hours. I will also grant you a check. Go ahead and make an go ahead and make just a straight intelligence check.
Do you have advantage on that?
If it's still within the hour of me casting Enhance Ability. No, I started concentrating on scrying, so I'd
Yeah.
Enhance Ability.
You know, get in the same phase. Chris, like, but he failed to save, so it can't be too.
No, I in general, where I can, you guys attempting things, even when they fail, I want there to be something that happened from you guys dedicating attention and a resource to a thing. Sometimes it might not be what you want, but it might be something, especially on a nat 20 as a sort of consolation prize. Your will and spellcasting ability is rejected so suddenly, like a brick wall your senses ran into, and it's such a fortified presence. It doesn't feel like someone's natural willpower, and it doesn't feel like arcane magic you've sensed, religious divine magic you've sensed, primordial magic you've sensed. This individual utilizes a power of sense of self and inner will that is different from other magical types. Functionally, this individual does not use, seemingly in this defensive force coming out of, it's not arcane, primordial, or divine. It is something closer to an innate composure of mind.
So he was able to block my attempt to look in on him, whether consciously or subconsciously. And it was like a walled fortress around his being that I've never experienced before. And it didn't feel like Roulette's magic. It didn't feel like my magic. I definitely don't think it was similar to Rome's magic, so I'm confused on how soundly it blocked me.
Kind of makes me think of myself a little bit, where if he's very well off with the sword, as we've been told, he's spent other parts of his energy on protecting his mind. So in general, this is a very defensive individual. I wonder if that means he's spent less aspects of development on other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like his people skills or whatever.
And me not being able to scry on him at all means I can't do my lesser version either, so I think that's about what I've got for the night.
I'm good for the night.
We've got some mushrooms to find tomorrow.
My bladder also is satisfied.
Yeah, definitely. It's a perfect spot to take a quick bio break and then come back here.
Go.
Do it.
We're here. I'm just eating off camera.
Hola.
Hola. Oh.
Steve, this is amazing.
What?
I know. It's so good. What are you watching? No, something else.
You guys can't talk about secret things and not include me.
Oh, I feel excluded.
Concerns a game you haven't finished.
Oh, Zelda?
Breath of the Wild.
No, I did finish Breath of the Wild.
Did you finish Breath of the Wild? Oh.
Yeah, I sprinted through that before Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm still only halfway through Tears of the Kingdom, sadly.
I've been working on my Animal Crossing island, Emily Axford style, so I've been adding some really demented spaces.
Nice. Love that for you. Okay, well, as the Forsaken Winds collect themselves, gather again for the night at Broken Bottle, you guys are welcome to do a long rest. I will not be instigating anything during this long rest, but you are all welcome to if you would like. But otherwise, it will become the next morning.
Do we trust him?
I got nothing.
I cast Death Ward on myself before sleep.
Oni Hellfiends show up in the night and stab you all.
Oni Hellrats.
Yeah, we set a guard. I'm telepathic again, baby.
But it will be the morning now of Morndas, 30th of Evening Star. The day is yours. Sunlight starts to peek through the windows. You are able to wake up from your fairly cramped sleeping quarters and can do what you would wish. Anything specific you want to start working on throughout today? Your final day before the Crown of Evening Star State dinner tomorrow?
We've got poison to make.
Okay.
So
with those that are intending to gather mushrooms.
And any other poisonous plant, by the way. So, I mean, if we find anything that's like any other poisonous plant, we can use that too.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
DC will be effectively lower for the ones you guys have sort of co-identified as your best option that Tobirama suspects may be in this vicinity, just not your immediate vicinity. But with that locate object, you'll probably find some of those automatically.
Okay.
But
before I go out with the poison crew, I look at Jerry. Jerry, you're hanging out in the city today, right?
The what?
You're hanging out in the city today, right?
Sure. I'm probably gonna go soak some stuff, yeah.
I have some homework for you.
Ooh. I didn't really do homework. It's not really a thing that I do.
Well, start now, because I think you're gonna like this homework. It involves spying.
I do like spying, so maybe.
Let's say we need to become a person who already goes into the city, into the keep itself. One thing we haven't really discussed is we could just take out someone and then have one of us impersonating them. And with a name and with we could interrogate, get some information. Maybe just keep an eye out for a candidate like that.
Ooh, Moby. We could pretend to be Moby. Who wouldn't let that kid into the city?
I don't think that... No, not Moby. He's too important. We don't want to compromise his identity.
True.
Someone who's already walking in and out of the castle. Not the most high-tier position, not the lowest, but someone who we could potentially kidnap, interrogate, get some information out of, and then use their name and likeness to walk in. Just in case we needed an alternative plan. One of us needed to be able to go into that castle. Just keep an eye out, maybe.
Oh, I'll pretend to be Ralphio, and I'll go put on a street performance by the gate. And I'll spy on everybody coming in.
Whatever sounds... However you make the homework fun for you.
Y'all aren't leaving the city, are you?
We're just gonna go hang out in the green pots to look for poison.
Oh,
Are we leaving the city to do that?
You should, 'cause
Depending
you
on what
won't be
my
back in.
magic
True.
tells me about mushrooms.
If anyone leaves the city, it could just be Rome in the form of a bird. Like if we find out the poison's outside of the walls.
That is true.
Oh, wait, I forgot to mention that I found a really good way into the fortress also. If we can all be really tiny.
I think you and Rome are the only two that can get tiny, though.
I know, but maybe we could think of a way to get tiny in the meantime. Just something to think about throughout the day.
Or invisible.
No, tiny.
Oh, tiny's the only way.
Yeah. Gotta be small.
We don't all have to go in the same way.
True.
I could polymorph somebody, make them small, and then I can transform into my own animal. That's one
True.
other way.
And then the tiny creatures could open the way to whoever's left.
Yeah.
Oh, and I tell them whatever the symbol, however I remember it.
Oh yes, you are able to clearly draw the symbol of two sort of crescent hooks that oppose each other, and none of you know what that means, but you emphasize that it's clearly infernal script.
Lots of infernal, so very interesting. Talon is weird. The Count and Contessa seem infernal, like the Oni. For how much they like humans and humans being top dogs, they keep going to other people to figure this stuff out. Going to the hells.
So yeah, anyways, while you guys are out in nature, think about how to get tiny.
All right. Good luck with your research.
Well, Telperion, Toby, and Rome, are you three making your way? You're also seeming has lost its power now that it is, a new day. So how are you leaving? In what sort of vision are you leaving?
Good point.
Spellboy, can you whip up a disguise?
Who are you talking to?
Jerry?
Oh, Judy left. Did you tell him this before?
Yes.
Okay.
I
What do you guys
send
want?
him a message also.
Make us look dirty commoners and not the blue feathers. Point two.
Can do that. I'm gonna turn myself into Ralphio, and then I'm gonna make Telperion look like real ugly,
Can
like
we-
a
can
really
we- can we-
dirty, grimy.
Should we stay as the blue feathers so that Jude doesn't report us?
Oh, right.
We should stay as the blue feathers, but make us the blue feathers again, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll make you and Toby blue feathers, but Telperion's getting peasant because he was never a blue feather to begin with.
I was under my own disguise. Sure.
I'll be transforming into a snake. Might as well. I mean, it's gonna have to be a snake
Hmm.
anyway. I'm thinking like a little python. Scary.
Perfect.
What size, approximately?
Size python.
Like,
Well,
is it a
they-
large diameter, would droop over someone's shoulder type python?
Yeah, but like not like huge, like one that could like wrap around someone's arm.
A medium-sized python.
Yeah, medium-sized python. Nothing crazy.
I'm wearing my cloak of Elvenkind, and I offer her to. She can like be a little belt for me in the meantime.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You can shroud any vision of her for the time being. Okay. The three of you are heading where to begin your search for mushrooms? Just throughout the
So,
city until
yeah.
your locate object pings?
Let me. I was thinking like going this way, and then going like this way, and then down these, just down the streets, until locate object alerts me to, and I will start with looking for destroying angels. If we make it through the full 10 minutes of a casting of locate object, I'll on the second casting just do poisonous mushrooms, to be a little more general.
Okay. throughout you guys' amble throughout the city, by the time you make it in your proposed trajectory about here-ish, you do get a ping right as your spell concludes. It takes about 10 minutes to make your way to that spot, and you get a ping from loosely in this direction. Also, your passive perception catches something of note this morning, as although there are still 2 wyverns flying high in the sky above the city, and there are still some perches that are actively being roosted upon near the gate towers, many of the central towers do not have wyverns on them right now. And as you cast a second, so you get the ping by here and know that there are some destroying angels roughly in this area of the city. But then as you get closer and use a second casting for more general poisonous mushrooms, you will get an additional ping, as well as the 3 of you start to see, well, Rome's maybe peeking out of Telperian's cloak, but at least Tobirama and Telperian will see that there's quite a few wyverns on ground level throughout this space over here near the gardens, as well as a highly populated general arrangement of the citizenry. Many people are kind of talking to each other hurriedly and excitedly, as even overnight the sluice gates closing has begun to pool the river's flow, and it is widening around this area. It hasn't gathered enough yet to sort of raise its level enough to just eventually clear the sluice gate's top, and therefore it is pooling right here, and it is eating into the southwestern territory that's a little bit out of town, as well as into these more refined nobleman walking gardens of this area. You suspect this is a very busy area right now, but there are destroying angels over there, as well as perhaps other poisonous mushrooms. There are many guards, knights, and wyvern knights sort of sheltering people off. No, back to your homes. Nothing to see here. We're seeing to it. Don't know the cause. Nothing that you need to be made aware of yet. Crowd control.
If we can, pushing a little bit through the crowd, get to a point where I can see where my magic is pointing me, I might, through Telperian, tell Rome where the mushrooms we're looking for are.
I relay that message.
You are able to go ahead and roll a d6, Tobirama. You are able to, excuse me.
Bless.
Gesund. Gesund.
Thank you. You are able to collect 5 white cap head mushrooms of destroying angels in this vicinity, and you can point Rome's attention toward where you felt another blip on the radar, which is in underneath the water, further toward one of the flooded areas of this section. So someone would need to functionally get over there and maybe get below surface of the water to find this additional poisonous source.
Rome, if you can get under the water, there's some more, but if not, I can take 10 minutes and get you able to, I don't know, breathing, I have walking.
Well, just like point of clarification, you said that the mushrooms are under the water?
So some of them were available to just find, but there is one other source of seemingly a poisonous mushroom of some kind that's a little further into the area that Durast is blocking off right now, that was previously on land but is now under water cover of a flooded area.
Snakes can swim, right?
certain snakes can.
I think pythons can be found in water sometimes, and they got like an issue in like the bayou.
Rome, you hear a Telperian in your head. Didn't that? Oh wait. Well, I assume you shared some of the information that Farrah said. Rome.
shared some of the information to who?
Did you share what the ferret told you with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't that ferret thing say that there was like shinies around here in the water underneath the river or something?
I think that was closer to the brewery.
Yeah.
Oh, where's the brewery? I look around for the sign for the brewery.
Down here.
Where you guys currently are, you generally know where Roulette and Jiri had scoped out last night, but it is further away from where you guys are.
Maybe if we can swim, maybe it will.
That one felt jarring since
Yeah, it did. I didn't know. I forgot it was coming. I deleted the little box. I was like, in 10 minutes, because sometimes I keep it up as a reminder. And I was like, I'm gonna delete this and then forget, and I did.
But Telperion, you were saying?
Oh, let's after you get some mushrooms, we should go over there and check out what the shinies are. Maybe there's like a window open or something.
Agreed. I think that. Also, point of clarification: pythons can swim and they can hold their breath for up to 30 minutes, according to you. So yeah, I will use my camouflage ability of being a snake and slither on over there and into the water.
Is that an ability that's written on a stat block of your choosing, or?
No, I'm just saying it.
Okay. Point me in the direction of a stat block you're using for this wild shape.
Let me grab the python one.
I may be ready to use some thaumaturgy to, if I notice any guards or anything trying to step on a snake and distract.
Toby, I'm thinking I can cast the spell with silent image, and I could make a distracting image, but I don't want to like set off a ton of alarms. But I could try to like get through events to go check out something else. If I just made like a dragon bone walking by, but what would not raise too much suspicion but draw them away?
I don't even know that we need it. I think if we see them looking at the snake, I just make kind of a disrupting sound near them. They freak out, and then they lose track of the snake, and it's... I don't think it needs to be that much of a distraction or commotion, just something.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I'm using the poisonous snake stat block, by the way. And it does not have any camouflage ability.
Sure, but nice swim speed in there, yada yada. Okay. You are certainly able to start making your way through the commotion of the people, maybe around some topography to try and disguise your approach, getting toward the water and toward that mushroom. Go ahead and give me a general stealth check as the snake.
So that's not gonna. You typically have advantage that goes away with being in snake form, correct?
What are you getting advantage from? Is it like your boots or something?
It's the boots, yeah.
Yeah, so that it goes away because they can't still adorn your form. So yeah, it'll just be the snake's dexterity modifier probably. So it should be a lot less than that, I think.
Sorry.
It's not. Yeah.
It'll be a 9.
Okay. So your snake starts to slither toward the water, and as it gets around there, some of the populace like spot it and start to freak out and start moving away from it, and definitely attract guards' notice. But as you're able to slip into the water, they're more intent on seeing the crowd being quelled than trying to go run and kill a snake.
Fair.
But you're able to get underwater. You know the general location per Toby Rama's guidance of where this mushroom can be found. So go ahead and, now that you're underwater, go ahead and make a general perception check.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Probably also won't be quite that high, but you still rolled really well. That will... Oh, but you do get your own senses through in wild shape. So yes, with that high of a roll, you definitely are able to find the mushroom, and it seems to have like a triad of splitting clusters of like almost spore cluster like mushroom tops, and you very quickly identify that this is likely the poisonous mushroom that Tobirama had identified. You're welcome to make a nature check to see if you know what it is, but regardless, you're able to find it and functionally grab it.
Well, I am curious as to what it is. No. Maybe you know.
You've never seen this particular shroom before.
All right. Well, I will use my my tail to like wrap around like the stems of these mushrooms to try and grab them, and then I'll slither on out of the water.
You are able to. You get
Stealth it.
one little cluster of this particular species of mushroom. So
Cool.
I think you got 5 of the destroying angels and 1 of this mysterious mushroom.
Cool.
And you are able to retreat from the water, and a Durastian knight is nearby, quelling the citizens and trying to push them backward. Please, you all have business to attend to in your own homesteads, and what are you all not doing at work? The city still has to run. Get back to your duties. And just generally not paying the snake much mind.
And from there, we'll walk to the brewery.
Okay. You're able to get toward that part of town. You do see a large wyvern with a knight just draped over the top center of this brewery, just scanning the environment. And as you guys begin your approach, you notice a sort of blockade of soldiers standing guard around the couple street entrances that lead to the brewery.
Seems like they did a good job last night.
So, Rome, do you want to become like a ferret or like a mongoose or something? And then that way you could scurry over quickly and go investigate the water? That way I just draw its attention to the snake.
I think back to him. The only issue is that I need to be in snake form. Oh, but I could polymorph into a. Never mind. I guess I can polymorph into a snake for that interaction with the ferret. Well, I'm gonna want to be a swimming animal to try and get those shinies.
Muskrat.
A what?
Muskrat.
Oh yeah, I'll become a muskrat. I'll transform into a muskrat. Cool.
Sounds good. As usual, just I don't need to know every time, but just find a suitable stat block that you're choosing for this transformation. I think by this level you can easily pick most creatures just below a certain CR threshold. But
we could ping over to Tim.
Sort of rodent with the swim speed.
We could ping over to Tim and Steve while we look for one, or while we're on
that could work well. Yeah, Jiri and Roulette, what are you working on as the others are mushroom gathering and scouting through the city?
Jiri will go and do his homework. He will go and put on a street performance of juggling and telling stories at the front gates. He will bring a little tip jar too, and he'll just try to get to know as many people as possible. Put on his charm and just collect intel on people.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance check.
Roll them dice.
Go ahead and roll a d12.
Seven.
As people slowly throughout the day filter into the gates, some people will stop by you. Some people will even filter out of their homesteads, desperate for some sort of light and joy and entertainment in this Durastian occupied, forceful landscape. You are able to get 7 gold worth of coins. Realistically, it'll be various silver pieces, copper pieces, and such, but you can just add 7 gold to your inventory. However, your performance check is also good enough to attract the nearby gate guards, who 3 of them come up to you and say, "Hey, listen, I know you're not technically doing anything wrong, but we can't just have people soliciting this close to the gate. People have to be, you're in people way, you're stopping traffic. People need to filter into the city. Scram or we'll collect your earnings."
And Jiri will just like see how long he can get this conversation going. Like he'll ask them their names, he'll ask them their rank, he'll say like how far away do I need to be to gate. Like he'll just get them as talking as long as possible to just, see how many different words he can like pick up from these guys in terms of like how they pronounce things, how their speech patterns, that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Go ahead and make an insight check. Go ahead and make it with advantage since your performance was good enough to like. I'll keep that performance check as your ability to keep the conversation going. Okay, so the 12 will reign. You're able to gather little tiny bits of speech in sort of your actor feat ways. Studying people for long enough lets you be very good at mimicking people. So you do get little patterns of speech and stuff, but they are not, other than the fact that you have to be, X amount of residences away from the main gate walls to be able to, do things like this. You don't get a whole lot of useful intel that's really suitable to what I think you're looking for. You don't get positions, names of people that you could functionally infiltrate a keep as. You don't gather quite enough info to be able to find a conclusion there.
Okay, well then I will be moved along, and I will just spend a little bit more time just getting to know the people of the city, chatting with people coming in. You know what I mean? Like I'll walk with them along the way, just to find out more about them, that kind of stuff.
It is a little bit like pulling teeth. People are eager to get to where they're going and then not make much of a fuss. People from their homes might come out of curiosity to interact with you briefly, but then quickly retreat into their houses or workplaces. It's not a very conducive environment for street performing.
Yikes. Okay, sensing that, I will then head down to the sluice gates and start dumping water into the levee system. I'm gonna go check also to see if Roulette's work is still.
Yeah, so I will say as you head in that direction, you'll come from a different angle, but you'll see the same thing the others saw, where many of those streets toward the brewery area and therefore Sluice Gate are blocked off, and there seems to be some sort of active investigation over in that area, likely having to do with you and Roulette's presence there yesterday, but you're not able to functionally get close enough to the water to further vandalize the area. Unless you pursue other means to do so.
No, yeah, I'll just go find Roulette and see what she's up to.
Okay. Roulette, what are you up
to? As soon as Jiri goes back into the broken bottle, he would likely hear from the basement some weird noises. So at some point in the morning after everyone left, I am going to take up my bag of jade dust out of my bag of holding. Okay. And I'm going to head to the basement. I'll stop by the front desk. Hey, Jude.
Yeah, mostly just the tavern keep bar top. Yeah.
And I will say to Jude, thanks again for letting me use the basement. Please feel free to ignore any noises you hear coming from the basement. It's a weird singing that I do. Just ignore it. It'll only be like an hour-ish. Don't worry, I'll be done soon.
Listen, I mostly don't care what you do down there. If I get concerned, I'll just report you.
Oh. Scary.
Okay. I will I'll open the door and I'll close the door, and then I'll magically tinker 4 things around the door that are just like atonal singing noises that are somewhat loud, just so it like sounds like the background noise. I will go as far deep into the basement as possible, and then for the next hour, in 10-minute increments, 4 separate times, it's just going to be blood-curdling screams. And But it's gonna be like sporadic. It's not gonna be like endless. It's just gonna be like yelps, but it's in 10-minute increments 4 separate times. I'm casting Magic Mouth 4 times into 4 small rocks, with a 9.5-minute loop of me screaming.
Jesus Christ.
What I would say is this is definitely enough to concern something that would concern Jude, but your use of tinkering to hopefully dwarf some of the noise, I'm trying to establish in my head what is a reasonable check to ask of you.
I will say, like, halfway through, I'll come up and be like, "I'm halfway done. Don't worry, I'm almost done. I was just warming up. I'm almost done."
Go ahead and make a. I think I'm going to ask you to make a general performance check.
Love it.
Your castings of the spell will work as intended. This is more of surrounding phenomenon.
18. I'll throw it in there.
Okay. You do complete your spells.
And I will take those 4 rocks, put them in my pocket, head back upstairs.
As you head upstairs, you see at the front door Jude talking with a single Durastian guard and say, "That's her. I don't know what the hell she thinks she's doing down there. Oi, thank you, sir. Oi, miss. The hells are you doing in this man's basement?"
Oh, apologies. A bit of a vocal exercises I've been working on. It's a bit of an experimental thing. I kind of been working on this for a couple of years now. It's kind of called creation throat singing, and it sounds a bit off-putting.
All right, I've heard enough. Downstairs with me. I'm walking down there to see what you are up to.
Oh, I definitely stopped the stones on my way up because I was going to be talking to him. So
I suspected that might have already taken place, but he will sort of usher you forcefully back down the stairs and sort of grab you by the scruff of your back of your garb, just holding on to you, pushing you further down. And when you both get down there, he just sort of looks around and says, "Oh, I'm not paid enough to care about this," and just sort of pushes you, but then otherwise makes his way back upstairs.
Pushes you like a big brother's annoyed.
It's a great practice space.
And you hear as he gets up to the top, "I don't think she was up to anything strange, but feel free to kick her out of your establishment if it gets worse."
I will hurry back up. Jude, I'm done. I've gotten all the practice I need. It's really good echo chamber down there. If you've ever got anyone practice singing, you might want to rent it out and make some money.
Yeah, listen, my patrons are light these days. I can't have more things dissuading them from spending their coin here. Just do it at another barkeep if you need to.
I'm done for the day. I appreciate the help. And I'll toss him his silver on the bar. Your first rental payment for the vocal training space downstairs.
Yes, first and final. That's correct. You'll take your silver. You have cast Magic Mouth into 4 rocks.
Yes.
Okay. Jiri will start returning around this time, probably. And you guys are able to meet back up with each other near or in the Broken Bottle at your choosing. And then Telperion, Rome, and Toby Rama, what are you interested in doing to further investigate or interact with the space down near the now guarded brewery area?
Why is this place guarded?
There was a big disturbance last night.
Oh.
But are there guards like near the waterway?
There are many guards near preventing citizenry from getting toward or near the water that continues to pool up slowly throughout the day. Just keeping the populace in control, as well as a couple Wyvern Knights throughout that entire southwest section of the map, including heavy presence around the brewery where the sluice gate is located.
Rome, just go as a muskrat, sniff around, see what you can see, if you see anything interesting, and we'll just head out as soon as you have time.
Okay, so we're gonna use the. I'm actually not gonna turn into a muskrat. I'm gonna turn into a crab because then I can actually be on the floor of the what's it called? The riverbed.
The bottom of the river. Yep.
Yeah, rats can't do that. So I'm gonna transform into a crab and then like go in and see what I find. Looking for shinies.
I would like to enhance her ability before she scuttles off.
What ability would you like to enhance?
Wisdom. Okay.
And I'm using the crab stat block, the regular crab, not the giant crab.
I will say, with the size of a small crab, no stealth check is required. You are able to make your way in between a couple buildings, sort of tangential to where the guard presence is, and you're able to make it toward the water, and therefore swim from the water toward the sluice gate area. Although, since you guys approach from, let's say, roughly, I'm going to star this location down here. You approach from roughly this direction to where you saw the Durastians. You could either have gone from that space somewhere around here toward the water, which is upstream of the sluice gate, or you could have tried to make your way further around the area toward the downstream of the sluice gate area. Do you want to end up before the sluice gate or after the sluice gate?
I want to be upstream because then I can float downstream if need be.
You are absolutely able to do so. So you're able to make it toward this area of the map, slink into the water, and you quickly notice that although there has been a flooding occurring, there is current moving. The sluice gate has been restored to its previous position. It's just taking quite a long time to drain this environment, but the current does begin to pick you up and move you downstream automatically. Go ahead and make a perception check on your way as you're sort of being carried by the current toward the sluice gate. You do see some glittering of coins and such just generally on the bottom of this riverbed that you can try to get down toward, but again, due to the current, that will probably be somewhat difficult. Are you interested in swimming further down to collect some coins?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check of the crab. I'll say with advantage because you do have a swim speed.
Okay, athletics is strength, so I'm using the crab strength.
Yeah, but you get advantage.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll a regular d20 and then adjust it.
And then you get one more roll. Okay. So you try to swim downward, and you're not the current is moving you a little too quickly forward, so you're having a hard time slowing your pace enough to sink down, and then suddenly you are at the sluice gate, and a drop is about to occur. You are shepherded over the edges of the sluice gate's little turret features and through the top of it, and there's about a 30-foot drop here, so I need you to please make I think it's generally an acrobatics check as you are about to plummet into the lower portion of the water down below.
Okay, so that's a acrobatics check, you said?
Yes.
Okay, so that's Dex. Is that going to be Dex of the crab? That's Dex of the crab, correct?
Dex of the crab, yep.
Okay. So that will just be right. That's just a flat roll.
It's just a flat roll, so no modifiers or anything?
There's no modifier, yeah, it's a 0.
Okay. Since it is water, you'll take half of the damage, but you still do take the 3d6 of just falling damage. So you'll take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as this little crab form impacts the water.
Okay, so I'm no longer a crab.
Okay, so immediately a change occurs and you are suddenly in Rome form as you splash into the water. What are you doing in this moment as you are now a mythological nature spirit creature in this very anti-non-human city? with a guard presence around this space.
All right, so hold on. Let me just think for a second. I was not anticipating this happening. All right, so my only option is polymorphing. So I'm going to cast polymorph on myself, and I'm going to transform into. Am I still in the water?
You are still in the water, and this water is less deep, and it's at the bottom of a large sluice gate that you just sort of spilled off the top of, almost like a slow waterfall, but you were just sort of falling, free fall in that area.
Okay.
It's
And
about
so
a 10-foot deep water surface, and you are in the water as Rome.
And I'm off the map.
You are, yes, functionally off the map, just south of the brewery down here.
Okay, and where we're staying is here.
Up here, yes.
Up here. Okay, and where I left Telperion, and that's where they are right there.
Yeah, correct.
Am I within, like, thought distance of Telperion?
Definitely not. However, you do immediately notice that the splash of your arrival here, there's a wyvern on top of the brewery that is turning its head around and looking in your direction. Are you using polymorph, or what are you doing?
All right. Well, I mean, I have my cloak on, so I mean, I don't know if that helps in any case.
I think just going polymorph's the fastest way to just get out of this danger.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to like get closer to the edge and then polymorph into like an alley cat or something. Or
Okay,
actually,
so
wait, no, I'll polymorph into a rat because then I can swim on the surface. My bad. I'm gonna polymorph into a rat.
Okay, you are able to quickly polymorph into a rat, and the wyvern, as you polymorph and look up, the wyvern is looking directly at the bottom of the sluice gate where your splash just occurred, but it doesn't seem to catch anything of note worth following or pursuing. You are able to become a rat, swimming on the top of the surface of the water. Now that you are down here, still with technically a swim speed, would you, and there's less current down here, would you like to look below the surface of the water and see what you see?
I mean, I'm here, so I might as well, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
Advantage.
You do get advantage on this, and you're able to use Rome's senses, for sure. One's really good. Number one, you see a glittering of coins on the base of the sluice gate, where likely whatever coins have filtered into the river upstream of here seem to splash into the water and just collect here right at the base of the sluice gate, where a lower current does not keep sweeping them further. So there is quite a smattering of shinies down there. What you also see is a single hemispherical sort of groove that goes in, like an alcove that continues further in to the base of underneath the city. And based on, I'll say, general awareness of what Jiri found from the waste piping of the keep, you think similarly this is some version of storm sewer piping through under this city that is larger than just a simple small waste pipe. This is a larger sewer entrance that just allows water to filter into downstream of the sluice gate.
Okay, so, but is that like totally flooded, or is that just like...
Yes, it is totally fully underwater, like everything you're seeing. It's just something that theoretically someone could try and swim through that and see where it leads.
Ah. But in rat form, I wouldn't be able to do that at the moment. So I'm just going to take note of the fact that there's this kind of opening there.
Yeah, fair enough. Otherwise, you're welcome to dive and collect coins if that's something you're interested in, or otherwise get back onto the bank and meet up with your friends.
I mean, can I attempt to try and swim and grab some coins?
Yeah, I don't know that a rat has the innate swimming speed, so it's just like sort of double movement.
Yeah.
And regarding your ability to carry coins in that form, you can absolutely try and make an a sleight of hand check, maybe.
Okay. Will that be... Is that the rats?
Yeah.
Okay. Get that. So sleight of hand is Dex. It's just a flat roll. Too many windows open and stat blocks. Oh, great. All right. Well.
You are able to get down there, and you grab a couple gold coins, and one of them's even shinier than silver. It might be a platinum coin. And you get them all in your little bundled arms, and then you're paddling up with your feet, but the coins are pulling you back down because they're too heavy, and your little feet are trying to flipper yourself up, and eventually you start to run out of air, and you have to let go of the coins to get back up to air.
Damn. All right. Well, that was a fail, so I'm going to leave this place. Take note of the fact that, like, all right, if I need to get coins, don't go upstream. Just go to this one location. And I go back to try and find Toby and Telperion.
Perfect. Yeah, with a little bit of time, you're able, maybe 5 minutes or maybe a little bit more, but you're able to scamper your way back to Toby and Telperion for sure.
Great.
So you three are back together. Jiri and Roulette are at the Broken Bottle still. Jiri and Roulette, anything you guys are currently wanting to do with each other or wait for?
Roulette. Oh, I don't know if Roulette's there.
What's up, Jiri?
Roulette, I'm going stir crazy. I gotta get into some type of mischief.
We already did, and I think we should just keep, because there's too many guards, we should just lay low for the rest of the day.
I'm very eager to just do something now. So if we can, like, just spin things forward to, I don't know.
I think that's what Jiri is also feeling that, but saying it in person. Like he wants to like do
Mike's
something.
not saying it in person.
Well, unless there's any other antics or information gathering efforts you're interested in the day, we can certainly speed through the day.
Do we want to plan for the dinner?
We need more info, so if we want to go through some spells, but if we have any spells we know we want to cast that help us do that. But I'm getting planned out after this long of planning time.
Are we going back to our original plan of Operation Thane? Jiri, yours the Thane. Toby and I are attendants. Rome, you are some sort of small creature, and Telperion, I forget if you were some sort of helmed bodyguard or if you were in the necklace.
I don't know, but could we not take? Do we want to consider? If we're all back together, we would shared information.
Yeah.
Do we want to try to go under the pipe if we like have a water breathing spell on us? Do we need to talk?
Not. So what? So I can let us.
I have
on
a
the water.
I have a spell scroll of water breathing.
That could be very
That
nice.
was fun, everybody.
I will double check, but
It's
I
like up to
believe-
8 people.
Spell scroll of water breathing, and water breathing is, I believe, like Mike just said.
I think the last interaction we need to do is with the rats, and we have to make the poison still.
Yes.
Yes.
That can
No.
certainly be an effort underdone throughout the rest of this day that we can wrap up with a couple checks.
10 million creatures, so I can do everyone with water breathing if we wanted to do that.
Be easier than walking through the front door.
That's pretty
Do
cool.
we know where that goes?
We'd have to send someone in it tonight to test out where it is going to.
Also, with this poison that we're distributing, are we essentially saying like poison everybody at the estate dinner?
If we make enough of it, we totally could.
Yeah.
Because if that's
we
the
could-
instruction, then like when I'm giving the instruction to our rodent intelligent network, then they just know to like put the poison in like all the food,
And the like
Or-
prepared dishes that are
Yes.
going to be brought out.
or in the punch bowl that there might be.
We might need to like help facilitate that a little bit with like our presence. Like if we can knock out the cook while a horde of rats distribute poison or something.
And I can lead the horde of rats as a rat. You know what I mean? Like I can
Yeah.
like them as we're going, and then they're just going to be doing the dirty work.
And then a mythological dryad appears in the kitchen, knocks out the cook for 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Sure.
Anyone we run into during all of this that is annoying, I can cast a spell and make them friendly to us, and I can say, hey, we go do this random thing and get them out of our way for an hour.
Do any of us have water breathing right now? Like, could water breathing go up that pipe?
I mean, I could polymorph again. I just need to be able to polymorph one last time before the end of the day.
Can you wild shape again?
No, I've already wild shaped twice.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
I
to
can
start-
polymorph like I can polymorph 3 times because I have 3 spell slots. At 4th level.
To start things off, at least, while additional plans and avenues for doing stuff are considered, let's go ahead and wrap up what poison's able to be created. Telperion, are you spearheading the charge of
Yeah.
brewing a poison? Okay. Are you using all 6 or all 5 of the destroying angels? And actually, give me a nature check on trying to determine what the mystery mushroom is.
Guidance.
Can you enhance me?
Do you want, what sort of enhancement would you like?
Intelligence. I'm going to use that a few times in this process.
I will do that.
Okay, so this first one for identifying +7 with advantage, and I rolled two 13s, so dirty 20.
20. You find out very quickly that it is lucky it was damp when you collected it, because the spores that are released from this particular mushroom, this is a hushroom, which is a very highly potent sleep or drowsiness inducing mushroom. And although there's not much of it, you could functionally get one chance at putting one person to sleep if brewed correctly. The rest of the destroying angels would just probably be mass brewed into a poison, and depending on how much of it you're wanting to make, would probably dilute each bit's potency a little bit, but functionally would be able to have a check to poison multiple individuals. You could potentially, there's going to be a high DC check to make something that could potentially put someone to sleep, and a bunch of things that could potentially put many people into the poison condition. Potentially.
I think we want to do like a smaller group, right? Like more like six people.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'll keep the hushroom, and I'll just do the hushroom as a solo thing to try to make one sleeping poison, and then do the other deadly angels together.
Okay. I will also say, this is going to sort of work out in your favor. Normally, the act of brewing poisons in general, basic poisons, you can knock out 1, maybe 2 in a day. But those are poisons that are very more carefully distilled and brewed and have longevity to them. They have a long shelf life and can indefinitely be stored and used when necessary. You can get more stuff done quicker, but they have a shelf life of probably 24 hours. So you might be able to get some of these done, but they have to be used by tomorrow night, or they will not be able to be used again.
Perfect.
That goes for all of these. So go ahead and make a general... I guess it'd be your poison maker supplies, but if you're proficient with those, it's basically a nature check.
Yeah. And I'll have guidance too, Toby.
No, I can do enhance or
guidance.
Okay.
Sure. So this is okay. So I'll just roll.
So this is for the destroying angels first.
I rolled a 3 and a 4. Okay.
I'm very willing to give up an inspiration for this endeavor.
You want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will spend
another single roll.
13 total.
13. I will say half of them are sort of butchered in the process, as you have a little bit of a learning curve to get through, but you're able to use 3 of them in a poison that can be distributed amongst multiple vials. The DC of that poison is a little lower now, a little easier to save against.
Okay.
But you have a functionally a DC 12 poison.
Okay.
And you can make, I would say, up to 6 poisons that all have this DC 12.
Okay.
And must be used in 24 hours.
And then I'll roll for the hushroom.
Can be the hushroom. Trying to brew a very small tincture of
23.
Also, we were doing this right before bed, just so for the 24 hours for state dinner.
Yep, perfect. 23 is adequate. You have 24 hours to implement it, but that can be a very small vial, can be administered to likely a glass of liquid of something that someone might drink, and that'll be a DC 15 sleeping poison. It will not. Well, it will poison them, and while they're under the poison condition, they will fall unconscious.
15 or 16, you said?
A DC 15.
Great, thank you. Great. I give them all the good news. Can I also can I do the paralytic mantle?
I'm going to say what you've accomplished so far is probably taking up most of your time.
Okay, we'll stick with that. That's pretty good. Thank you. Let's share with everybody.
Perfect. Is someone considering, Rome specifically, or anyone else that has a reason to, considering polymorphing and going through the city to find what's up that waste area? Super.
For everyone's intel, I also still have a vapor bomb from the Feywild.
Courtesy of
what did that do?
The vapor bomb paralyzes someone. I can give it back to you if you want.
No, you have the better attack on it. You are correct. I had no, it's better against. I can do it better against bigger things, but if you want hand-to-hand combat, it's you.
I think Ro was doing the pipe.
Looks like you guys are muted.
I can do the pipe, but I also have to talk to the ferret at some point. There's no one else has the ability to water breathe.
Thought we were gonna like fast forward to the day though. Or is that just to get to the poison stuff faster?
Also,
we're sort of just generally wrapping up what you guys are interested in doing for the day. We probably won't RP through some of the stuff. Some of it might earn you information and stuff. But
Alex, I'll also say from a spell conservation, we also have the entirety of. Well, never mind, because we want to save those spells. Never mind.
Well, I mean,
do druids get wild shape back on a short rest?
I get one wild shape back on short rest. I'm sure.
I think it's just you got to do these checks, Alex. We can't really do them.
Okay, you mean the water check? Yeah. Okay, so I'll polymorph into. Okay, so the crab didn't really work, but there's no current back where that like one location is, correct?
Correct. I will just for free tell you that using a crab, you probably won't be swept away on the bottom side of that sluice gate where you saw the entrance to the thing.
Okay. And right now, I'd have to travel the streets to get to this location, correct?
Yeah, and as a crab, it might slow you down a little bit, but it might take you 20 minutes to get there, maybe 20 minutes to investigate, maybe 20 minutes back. You might be able to make it in an hour.
All right, I'm going to transform into a crab and make my way down to the pipe.
Okay. You are able to make it there, and you are able to go up the pipe. It first starts horizontal, but then it slowly graduates up and further up until eventually, when you think you're roughly below the keep, it 90-degree angles directly up, and there's about a 10-foot elevation upward, and a steel metal grate that's gridded, like a series of crossbars that are gridded in a lattice pattern.
Can I attempt to swim upwards and get towards where that grate is?
The water level only goes a little bit up it, and then there's about a 5-foot drop of air that still needs to be ascended somehow. You can attempt to scale the walls as a crab.
Can I attempt to scale the walls as a crab?
You're absolutely welcome to. Does a crab have a climbing speed?
I'm pulling that up right now. It looks like they just have. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about
just the walking. So just since the stone walls of this diameter are slick, Give me an acrobatics check to see if you can try.
All right, acrobatics is
Yes.
dex, and for a crab, that is flat. So. Ooh.
You find the little grooves in the old stone walls of this place and are able to ascend into this grated area.
Can I fit through the grate?
Yes, you are able to fit through the grate, and I am going to bring you to a screen here. As soon as you climb out of the grate, you seem to be in a circular space, maybe 60 feet across or so, maybe 50. Stone. There's 3 doors, one on either side and one in front. Behind you is just more curved wall surface. And there are bones strewn throughout this entire pit. And skulls throughout of humanoid individuals that are just stacked on each other like little tiny pyramids here and there. You don't see any creatures in here, but this is just a mass of bones, like a jungle gym ball pit, but of human skulls and femurs and legs.
Is this anything to note right here, or is this just a part of the map?
Just part of the map, but we can say there are tattered clothes and bloodied entrails of a creature who has had its bones removed from its body.
Is there any evidence of anything living in here, or am I completely alone?
As your crab form scuttles around, go ahead and make a perception check. You feel a swell in this tide of bone from behind you as you're moving throughout the space. And you sense that there is what you might consider a large creature lurking within this area of bones. You just sense a shift, almost like in the way in The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, the coins just shift and there seems to be an enormous creature within them. Similarly, a much smaller but still large creature seems to be lurking within this pit of bones.
But I can't tell what the creature actually is.
You cannot tell what it is at this point, and you are probably nearing the end of your available time frame to buy yourself enough time to get back to the town.
All right. I think I've collected enough information. We know that there's something creepy down here. And it also seems like there's some sort of hallway. So this is like a chamber. That's kind of the information that I gather.
And you're loosely under the keep. So it's possible that through those doors lead other ways into the keep.
Right. Okay, but if we come up through this way, we have to deal with whatever's in here. All right, I'm going to pop down through the gate and head back to the group.
Okay. You are able to do so and meet back up with your friends.
Okay, so guys, scary creature. Definitely looks like there's some sort of like, I don't know, it's either a prison cell or they throw their prisoners down there and there's some beast that must be consuming them. So if we go up through that way, we'd have to deal with that beast. I don't know what it is, but I think it's pretty big.
We take our chances with the front gate, or do we just go slaughter that thing? Can we even fit in there, or did you have to be small to get in there, Realm?
Well, we would have to you'd have to be small to get through the grate, but maybe there would be a way for us to blow the grate open to then crawl through. But either way, you'd have to be able to scale the wall because the water doesn't go all the way up to the grate.
Or weren't you small? Oh, if you're small.
I was small, but you all would have to be able to climb the smooth rock of the vertical tunnel.
We could fill it with more water.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Oh, maybe we could drown this monster if we filled the entire chamber with water. Is that possible?
Jerry's got his decanter.
I don't know that the monster is that big of a deal. I think we'll just kill it on our way into the castle.
Yeah.
That's true. Jerry, could you fill an entire chamber with
Oh
water?
my god, I've been waiting to flood something for like forever now.
Because you could kill something by drowning, and if we all have
Thank
the
God.
water,
I've just been watching you guys make potions and do silly things. Let's drown people.
So
I feel
that's
like
our
that'd be-
way in.
yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I like that idea. The rodent army can take another way in. We'll meet up.
So in theory, there is a back door, so to speak, into the keep. Some of you might be interested in posing as Thane, Gaspard, and attendants, or there's that other alternate way in to consider, or the roof way in if you're small enough. So a couple avenues available to infiltrate potentially. Are you wanting to gather with the ferret and mouse intelligence?
Yeah, we should probably fill them in on this plan. Maybe we all can head down there together.
Oh, won't he? Why don't you just ferret down to yourself? I think the guy's gonna yell at us. He doesn't
All right,
like
It seemed to. We're running out of tolerance from Jude, probably.
That's on me.
That is true. All right, well, I guess I'll like head through like a crack in the wall. So I'm gonna use my last polymorph to slither down the steps to get down to where the ferret is.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check. In the walls, you're able to do that. Okay, so as a snake, you can get through in the walls down toward the basement.
Okay, and I head to where the ferret once was.
Okay.
Oh, shit! Look who's arrived, my friends. The creature I command. Just as I said.
And the predator will unveil his dozen or so rat and mice accomplices that he's been able to gather, and he will speak, but you are, I think, unable to speak back to him since you are no longer a vermin rodent kin. So he will speak, and you're able in your roam senses to understand, but he says his people are in place. Please make available the poison, and we will distribute it.
Oh, do I have the poison on me?
You are welcome to have brought it from Telperion if you
Okay,
wish.
I have it. I use my tail to hand it over. And in doing so, like kind of like give the ferret a little bit of a squeeze to remind him that he's not the one in command here, and it is I who is in command. He can think that, but
You sense just a moment of fear, but he has to keep the facade up to his allies. But they will take the poison and otherwise make themselves scarce. Hopefully that carried some value to it.
I kind of want to de-transform and speak to the ferret just to make sure that they're not going to just like distribute this poison. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to de-transform and show my true form to the ferret.
Okay. You're able to do so. You hear squeals and squeaks of many mice and rodents fearful of what you just became.
And I'll use speak with animals to say, I would like to remind you, Mr. Ferret Predator, that you will wait for my command before any poison is distributed. I will fall into your ranks as one of your own, and then give the command so that you know exactly where to place this poison. I promised you that I was a goddess of what makes you you, and you will be compensated. And I flick him a gold coin in his direction.
You hear the discordant melody of many shrieks in unison all run toward the coin in excitement, and they will acknowledge what you have said.
I will stealth my way back to the room.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth roll.
All right. Oh wait, but this is actually gonna be with advantage because I have my boots on. So sorry, the setting.
And 25 is definitely good enough. Okay. You walk up toward the back staircases of the basement, and you see that Jude is still barkeeping. And then in the perfect moment when he's called over to a table to help refill, you pick your spot and you just quickly make your way upstairs. Perfect. You're all together.
Perfect.
Poison will theoretically be dispersed to where it needs to be.
All right, so tomorrow night we are going out. Who's going what team? Are we doing... I don't know how we get through the thing. Should we just... We don't even have a plan for once we're inside.
This is true.
So maybe we should make one, but I don't really want to plan it right now.
Well, also, just above table, if you guys want to discuss a more official, tangible plan over the next week, and we can end the session early here and come back with a actionable plan and make very decisive moves, we can certainly do that if you guys want to. But unless there's other things you guys want to accomplish in the next 30 minutes.
I would like to spend 4 hours turning 100 gold worth of powdered silver into holy water.
Silver into holy
Using
water. Does that
ceremony.
give you like, is that like 25 a pop? Does that
Yeah.
give you 4 vials of holy water?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And that's a permanent change.
Yes.
Okay. Ritual, or are you using spell slots for that?
Yeah, I'll use 4 first level spell slots for that.
Are you
Otherwise-
transmuting that?
I'm using the ceremony spell. You can bless water, and it uses powdered silver to turn it into holy
Oh.
water.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Has a the water has a distinctly silverish sheen to its translucency. All right. Otherwise, you guys are welcome to get a long rest in again, and it will be Tierdas, the 31st of Evening Star, the crown of Evening Star, final day of the Eridon yearly calendar, and the night or the day of the estate dinner.
But you're gonna say campaign.
Okay. So it's functionally the day of. We can
Murder
speed through the
time.
day and begin to approach the estate dinner in however we want. I imagine you guys might want some planning to have a clear idea of who's who and where and how as we move forward. So this might be a natural sort of pausing point as you guys take this morning and afternoon getting ready to move toward the keep. And then we can functionally sort of pick up right there next time.
That sounds good to me.
As we were going through the day, if we're just like speeding through that day, do we know when the Talon is arriving? Do we get
so
any?
far throughout the first half of the day, there has no, other than the hustle and bustle of the Drastian soldiers being like very rigid at attention. You can see they're doing their best due diligence in their rounds of patrols and stuff. Talon seemingly has not arrived yet.
Okay.
Did Minerva ever send me a message back?
She mentioned that she would check in with Mother, but you have not seen
Okay.
the book glow necessarily.
Mother?
Does anyone, do you guys want to do anything else before we kind of wrap it up, or is there anything else? I don't know. Jerry, what plan are you in favor of?
I don't know. I don't care. Either one works.
It sounds like you were really interested in drowning some individuals.
I just want to do something. I want to kill somebody. We're here. Like, it's time.
I kind of think if we go through the pipe and come out, I think we can just kind of kill our way up to the dinner, like, and just try and keep them from raising the alarm. Like, I feel like the Thane thing was just to get us in the door, but if we have this way to get in the door.
Does the thing get us directly in the door to the spot we want to go to the fastest, though? Like, we'd be the freshest for that fight.
He was invited to the dinner. So
He was.
Bane Gaspard was invited to a dinner with dignitaries and people that have knowledge of Durast. That is what I will say.
I think that if we have people go the waterway, those people are in murder mode, but we need to do some talking. We need Jiri to spin some conversation because knowledge of Durast, that's what our true goal was here.
Yeah.
So I think we spend this morning part getting our disguise ready and our story straight and our like who's gonna be where as we bust in. That's just my thought.
I think original plan with Jiri as Thane and attendants is the best.
We also could use that other thing as an escape, the water. Like bust, like that could be our plan out, since the wyverns are gonna be a problem if we go out through a window.
So Rome's gonna be with the Rodent Intelligence Network. Roulette and I will flank Jiri as he works on info and getting in as the Thane. Do you want to be in the necklace, Telperion? Do you want to?
I won't be in the necklace until we get in, and then I might want to like get out and disguise myself or something so I can interact. But yeah, I'm cool being in the necklace to get through the door. And then we can let the horse out of this necklace, which actually is in the stable, I think.
It's in the store.
Cool.
And then I'm assuming we have enough poison to poison 6 individuals.
And then 1 to put someone to sleep, basically.
So we're gonna need to know, like, who are we giving the sleepy one to, and which 6 individuals are we targeting? Like,
The count or the
But
countess?
that is all out of your hands now. The poison has been handed over and the rats have dispersed. So unless you're altering their course of action, that is their current goal. They were assigned to go out and do their thing.
Rome said I'll be with you and telling you who to poison.
yeah, I said that. I said I'll fall into you're not.
Oh, so then that
right to
is
that?
not being done ahead of time. That's being done during.
Yeah.
Okay. That's totally fine. That just will shake out in a different way.
I guess so that like I can be fed information to then feed to the rodents that like think that people are not just poison. You know, like people.
I'll have to know which rat to telepath.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be the viney covered one.
Yes.
So I think that means the next session we're ready to start out walking out the door, essentially.
I will
sounds like Bane, Gaspard, and attendants will sort of be walking up toward the keep-ish.
Do we, before the long rest, like at night, we want to interview Thane Gaspard's corpse one last time? Can we?
We could try. I don't know in what shape it was in.
Oh yeah, I forgot it was like musty. We could still try though, but it's just Jiri. If Jiri has questions he wants to ask for that he knows would be useful for lies to get in.
Could be useful. More information is better than less information.
Okay. Well, shy of like RPing through every question, you're welcome. Just ask some questions, and I will give reasonable responses.
What did we learn from him in the past?
How familiar is he with the count contest? Like how familiar should Jiri act? And how much will they know what the thing was actually like? Maybe they never met him, so they don't know what to expect.
So yeah, let's just start with, had you ever met with the Count or the Contessa?
I have met them before, though only once. Beneath Talonreach Keep.
Do you know what their magical capabilities are?
Rumors follow them as with all pets of the Talon, that they wield innate arcane capabilities.
That's the Talon, probably referring to Coda. Innate abilities.
Here, did you have any questions since you're going to be impersonating him?
Ask him his favorite joke to tell or favorite story.
I'll ask that. Favorite anecdote.
He proudly tells the tale of, very briefly, in as reasonable a response as possible within this spell, but you get the sense that he was instrumental in assisting the Talon with her creation of the X2 series.
I've seen that movie.
Doesn't that mean...
Oh, her creation, so not Coda.
Because he recognized the hex metal when it was killing him. Like, he had an emotional reaction to it, I think. That's crazy.
Oh, you should ask him what that meant. What's the X2 series?
What can you tell me about the X2 series or hex metal in general?
Responds that he has no idea what hex metal is. But the X2 series was their second stumbling effort in refining the Dread Iron process.
Proper noun.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw the proper noun in there.
Oh.
Dread Iron.
Looks like Dread Lion.
In a similar way of Celestial and Divinor, Dread Iron seems to be a similar important metal of some kind.
I remember what I got.
I think two.
You should ask him what Dread Iron is.
I love how this is turning into
What
this.
is the expected goal or end result of the Dread Iron process?
Ooh, that's a good thinking quiet.
Trying to truly think of truth versus his understanding of the truth. And I think his response would be the creation of a perfect metal. With which to arm our army.
Because wasn't that knife from that one dude?
A dead eye was wielding a Vanta Black dagger. The only other two examples of a Vanta Black metal you've seen are Jiri's sword and a glimpse of Talon Koda's sword when you glimpsed him in a memory.
What's the weakness of the X2 metal?
Or
word strength. Weakness is better.
Or maybe we should ask one last question about how to impersonate him better.
How familiar is he with the Talon? The she-Talon? His boss?
We think is Moira?
I think so. Because if these people are also her creatures, his positionality with her is relevant. And he obviously wasn't in very high positions, so we already kind of know that intel. So it's like, how do we wheedle out? How is he hoping to get back in her good graces? Because that's what he would probably talk to these guys about. Or why was he punished with this post in the first place?
Yeah.
Because then they're going to jab you about that, and then you're going to want to know what they're talking about and how to respond.
Did you make some large error that warranted your position in Force Hollow?
Music stopping as you're thinking it's perfect.
I think he would respond by saying, I'm also assuming your disguised self so that he's answering your
Jody.
questions.
We got made
okay,
into the
perfect.
Blue Feathers today.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. He would respond by saying, my theoretical research of bioorganic metal was insufficient to her needs. That is why I constantly was training in such an art at Colony 5, otherwise known as Force Hollow. And you notice that, and you also notice that his whole fascination, other than the fact that he happened to have abjuration magics, his whole thing was he was turning people to stone.
Yeah.
So
that can be part of him coming and groveling at this dinner. Is like, I think I figured it out. I need to find a way to speak with the Talon because I think I figured out how to make the bioorganic metal or something.
But does that mean the better version of it is turning humans to metal? And he was doing the worst version of it? Like he was like a B+ student turning people into stone, whereas like the peak or pinnacle would be the metal. Well, anyway,
turn people into weapons.
It actually is fun for you, Jiri. Jiri, it's fun for you who actually cares about this metal to be the one getting to talk to these people because they may know of it.
Maybe. I feel like
you could present yours as proof. It's like I finally pulled it off.
Oh, that would draw a lot of attention. If you want them all close to you, Jiri, that's one way to do it. But that's like, they might kill you if you do that.
Yeah, but I feel like, I should also have intel to give them that's not related to the sword.
I mean, yes. We could also make up some fake info to give, like, oh, there's resistance gathering on the southwest coast of Creatia, and that's just not where our resistance is coming from.
I'm gonna need intel to like get me in, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I've got intel about the resistance movement. I'm not gonna show up and be like, yo, I got intel about sick swords from Jawland.
Well, you could use the... Oh, no. Would he have theoretically heard... You could complain about the elves that are in the forest. Also, give me the dagger that we took off that whatever Night Watch person, because I might have to... I could disguise myself as one of them if I need to. And then the dagger...
One of the dead eyes, that'd be cool.
Oh, no chance. The dagger is gone. I don't know where it went. Sorry, I can't give it to you.
Just give it to me now instead.
I'll give it to you right before the mission, not before.
Sure.
I'm still inspecting it.
Okay, inspect it for the rest of the day, and then give it to me.
That is some good talking points to use for this. So during the dinner, we're going to try and get them to reveal info, if possible, before we try and kill them.
So we're gonna need some special signal to know when to kill them.
Hopefully, we would want to do some talking before food is brought out as part of the dinner, because I would think the food would get poisoned before it's brought out.
Oh,
and upon them being poisoned, they'll be like, "What the heck?" That's probably when our best chance to strike is.
Yeah, but do we need to does somebody need to be like a waiter?
I was debating doing that.
Because then we know that these glasses
the right
of wine,
plates and glasses are brought to the right
dude.
table.
Oh, the Thane can execute a toast. Can initiate a toast, and then the poison can be in the champagne glasses.
I can do that.
That Telperion, the waiter, has handed to the appropriate table.
But we also need a code word in case things are not going good.
And it's time to just start attacking.
Or to retreat. Speaking of that, and I'm gonna hand myself, Toby, Telperion, and Jiri. I feel like it'll be the easiest to get out. And Rome, you're each gonna get a small little rock. It has the faintest etching of a smiley face on it. Put this in your pockets, please. Be very careful with them. If you throw it, 30 seconds of silence will happen, and then you'll hear a bit of loud screaming coming from that stone. So we could decide what we ever want to do with it, whether this is retreat or attack, but just it's a good distraction if you need to cause people to start running somewhere away from you. All you have to do is either throw it at a wall or just drop it on the ground and walk away.
Cool.
Okay. The code word for attack, if you guys hear me say, "This bread is really making me thirsty," that means attack.
Right. If any of us at any point in conversation say that,
just don't say it. And then if it's time to retreat, I'll say, "Oh boy, I think I picked up Giardia on the road. I gotta hit the bathroom real quick." That's our sign to retreat.
What's attack? Wait, that was the first one. He's getting thirsty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attack. I think I got that down, Jerry.
Picked up some parasites. I'll be right back.
The only thing is, if we attack all of them and all together without the poison, I wish we could separate them somehow. All three at once is going to be a hard fight.
Well, hopefully they'll be poisoned. Hopefully one of them will be unconscious and poisoned.
Wait, can I... What if there's only one of them I want to share the secret intel about the sword with?
Yeah, that could be good for the Contessa. She seems...
Okay, so then
Titus
speak off.
with Moira.
I'll isolate the Contessa, and then we'll attack her first.
It is likely that one of them will get away. So we just should be prepared to know. Because if we don't take the head off the snake immediately, all three dead, then there will be more volleys of attack. So, the question is, should we wait to attack the Contessa until the Talon has left? Or do we leave the Contessa and Count and not even attack them and follow up and try to take out the Talon alone, if it's not plausible to do all three at once? Something we could think about for the next week, maybe.
Yeah.
Above table. Not that I always want to do this, but this is just a super vague warning of just prioritizing and risk assessment is definitely a good idea. Definitely possible in a situation where you guys launch an attack where you're biting off more than you can chew, and that's not going to be fun for anyone. So that was one thing I'll just warn. Is just there could be bad consequences if you bite off more than you can chew.
So over the week, we might want to refine when the poison might strike.
And also confirm how we're giving this poison. Like, is it going to be, you know what I mean? Are you going to be the one who's literally handing it out? Or are we doing it in some other way?
Sweet. Gives us some stuff to text about.
Cool.
Cool. And we've got less than a minute left on the Zoom.
Oh, cool.
So kind of perfect timing. So
in person, I'll shout out inspiration nomination for Rome for the funny rat, the rat intelligence.
I agree. Rome, I think you had a lot of awesome, unique encounters due to just creative interacting with the world today. So definitely inspiration or Rome.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate
Everyone
it.
has a screaming stone now, except for Jiri.
I love the screaming stone.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Everyone.
Peace.
Peace.
Oopses.